I'd prefer, because I use this webcam, but it's awful quality. I don't want it to be really bad quality. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, we are live. I am going to hit the countdown. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to something new for this channel. You're probably thinking, who on earth is this? I've not heard this voice on the videos before. I've been sitting in line and wait in the background. So obviously we're here for Crown Jewel. First of all, I want to welcome in the founder and creator of the channel, Carl. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. Cheers, Sam. How are you?
Yes, all good. It's nice to have a pay-per-view in a time that doesn't require you to mess up your whole sleep schedule for the next week. So this is one of those ones that obviously we've been treated to a couple this year with having Money in the Bank. But yeah, so first of all, obviously the pay-per-view started. We're into the first match with Drew and Cody. What am I doing, man? Drew and Seth. We'll try again. So what I wanted to do while this is just starting is I thought it'd be fun to get a prediction from each of the matches from both of us. I'll write them down, and at the end of the pay-per-view, there's no consequence. Whoever wins or loses. But I thought it'd be a cool way to keep things interesting. Okay, so bearing in mind this first match is already so I want your prediction. Drew or Seth in this first match?
Well, I'm gonna stick with Seth. I think Seth's got it. I don't think he's giving up anytime soon. I'm going Seth. What about you?
Okay. Here's one. Let's hope we don't agree on every single one of them. But here's what I actually agree on. Seth is everything that a champion should be in wrestling terms. He's someone that when he's got the belt, wrestles with the belt, because I don't think a real champion runs and doesn't take any challenges for his belt and just holds it.
Yeah,
And look
like
at the
someone
great.
I can think of.
Yeah. You don't look at the greats of the sport like and see them as champions and see them backing down from any challenge. That's what a champion's there for. You're top of the pile, you've got to earn it.
And they defend. They defend and defend and defend.
They do.
Which is what he's doing.
Oh, therefore. Right, so let me get. So I'm going to go in no order at all, because I can probably do them off the top of my head. So Logan and Ray. I'm really excited about this one, to be fair, because like I mentioned to you last night.
Right, I think I've got a camera, boys. Give us a second.
No Crown Jewel match card. Just to make sure I don't miss any.
I'm gonna go Logan for this one.
Yeah,
I think.
Oh, this is not good.
We agree again.
Both of them we agree again. I just think to be honest, I know a lot of people like. I think he's really, really proven everyone wrong, because when he first came in, And when they first kind of touted that he was coming in, they're going, "Oh no, he can't wrestle. He's just like he's a YouTuber, and that's as far as he'll go." But if you look at like his previous, like when he was in college and stuff, he actually was a really good wrestler, because it's like mat wrestling, so it's proper wrestling. None of this kind of like what we know it now. It's kind of grappling, takedowns. That's it. So you actually learn a lot from doing that sort of wrestling.
I think he's definitely got the natural athleticism for it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
100%, 100%.
I'm not gonna say I like him as a personality, because I really don't. But I think he's got the wrestling skills for sure. I can admit that he's good.
And because of his YouTube, he's able to sell matches so well. So like a lot of these wrestlers have had to kind of build up their promos. He's already so good at it, so he's already got half of the knack, really, because if you've got good promos, you can be a mediocre wrestler, but if you've got good promos, that's what's going to put bums on seats. So yeah, we're in agreement on that one. Okay, so gonna go with next. This is one that could go. I think this is one of the more interesting ones, because this could go any way at all. So it's the women's women's world title. Sorry, so it's a fatal 5-way. So it's Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax, Zoe Stark, Raquel Rodriguez, and Shayna Baszler. So obviously Rhea's the champ. Pretty unmovable in terms of the storyline they're trying to bring with her and Dom on NXT. But there's some really tough competition there. So I'm going to go with a bit of a wild card for this one. And I'm going to go with Raquel Rodriguez, just to change things a little bit. Who are you going with?
It's going to be a boring shout, but at least we don't agree this time. I'm going to go Rhea defending. Yeah,
I think that's probably what will happen. I just don't want all of the predictions to be the same.
It's a bit boring as well, but you know, it probably is what's going to happen. So
yeah. So another one that could go either way, to be fair. Io Sky, obviously, the champ in this one, but the women's title with her against Bianca. I'm going to go with because Bianca was the champ before, so I'm not a big fan of. I know WWE like to do it a lot, but I'm not a particularly big fan of keep passing the title like to the same people again and over again and like redoing the storyline. But that's what WWE are amazing at. So I'm going to go again, because I just look at cards and they've got to have at least a couple of title changes. But I think I'm going to go for a retain for Io Sky. What are you going with?
Sorry, I lost you there. What was that?
So we've got Io Sky and Bianca. Obviously, Io is the champion at the minute, but Bianca was the champ before, if I'm right in saying. What are you going with that? I've gone for a retain.
Well, I think I'm going to go with the opposite, to be honest. I think I'm going to go new champ there.
Okay. So this one...
Make it interesting, you know?
Yeah, for sure. This one's really interesting. I'm torn between my head and my heart on this one, because Cena's just the guy. In evidence to that, I actually have. How cool is this?
Yeah, that is sick. Is that what you were telling me about yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep it right next to me when he's wrestling, because then it's almost like he's in the room at the same time. That sounds really weird. Really weird. And
I can't get this
know
camera
those things you
working.
say. Know those things you say when you don't think about what's coming out your mouth and you just say it. That was one of those. So I'm gonna go with my head says Solo because it from a point of view of their
It makes sense.
storylines,
It makes
it
sense.
makes
Yeah.
sense. But my heart's saying Cena, so I'm gonna have to go with Cena because I feel that I'm doing him a disservice if I don't.
Well,
What are you going with?
I think I've got to go with Solo then. Since you're going with Cena, and I think that is what's going to happen, I'm going with Solo.
Yeah, I think you're right. So we have a few more matches. So, we've
No
got
wonder
Cody
it's not
Rhodes.
working. Sorry.
It's all good. So we've got Cody Rhodes and Damian Priest. I'm going to go. They're not a big fan of pushing Cody, to be fair. So I'm again. I'm torn. I'm going to go Cody. I think. About you?
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you on that one. I think I'm going Cody. I just like Cody. I love his theme song, man. It's
I think
sick.
it's great. And now I think I'm just going to double check we've got them all. So yeah, now we can go to the main event. See, I wanted to add some. I tried to think of a caption to put underneath my name, and like we spoke about before, my favorite match of all time is the CM Punk and Cena for Money in the Bank 2011.
Yeah.
I remember seeing in the crowd, if Cena wins, we riot, because it's an old like throwback to
From
when
ECW One Night Stand. Yeah. I remember.
And they had it. They had it in an arena that ECW was famous for. And what they did was like crossed over the brands. So I think it was Cena was fighting RVD. I think.
Yeah, RVD for the title.
And then in the crowd, I've actually, because I'm playing WWE 2K23 at the minute, and it's going through Cena's story, and I've just done the fight against Rob Van Dam, and he speaks a little bit before, and he actually said that it was the most hostile crowd he's ever been involved in, but at the time it was the best he'd ever been in.
Well, in the ECW video I made on the channel, if anyone's watching, go check it out. I actually included that in there, and I think I put a clip in there where it's the actual entrance of John Cena at One Night Stand, and you can just hear the fans going off, like they're in his face, giving him the middle finger, like they're throwing his shirt back into the ring. Yeah, they're not fans of Cena.
Yeah, literally, it's not. I don't think you'll ever see. Like, I remember watching that because obviously in 2006, where was I? I was still in school, and I don't think back then, like, literally the only things that were on British TV back then were like Raw and SmackDown, and then obviously the pay-per-views. There wasn't any of like the other kind of stuff on the TV.
No.
So obviously I've watched it back, and I don't think I've ever seen a card that's as good as that one. Like, every single match was special for like a said reason. So yeah, that's that. Right. So we went off topic. Main event. So Reigns and LA Knight. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go LA Knight just because I love him and I think he's sick. But honestly, I don't think he's doing it tonight. Don't think he's doing it tonight. But I'm gonna go with him anyway. That's where I am with it anyway. I just can't go against it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what my heart says. My heart really wants him to win because I think it would be great. But my head says they've kept him champ for this long. there's no way on this earth that they're gonna change it. And it's got to be like they're gonna have to. I don't know what scenario it changes anyway, but they're gonna have to come up with some like amazing way to change the title. And I've got literally no idea how they do it at the minute. Because the biggest chance that they had, I think, like the best way to do it would have been passing the torch on to Cody, because obviously there's that whole storyline of him coming to WWE with his family legacy, not winning the title, going over to AEW, coming back. So that would have been perfect for him to get the title that way. For the life of me, I'll never know why WWE didn't do that, because that would have just made the whole pay-per-view. So I know a lot of people were completely confused as to why they didn't. So me going on that, I can't see anything other than a Roman Reigns, to be fair.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So I'll actually go back to telling people what is going on now. Now we've done that little bit. So it's been pretty back and forth. I think Drew's tried, but failed and has finished a couple of times. Roman's just got a stomp. It's a 2 count again. So that was pretty sick. I don't know why. So Seth's come off the top rope backwards, countered by Drew. He's moved out of the way, turned around, and what's Drew's finisher called?
Hey Sam, where did you send me that link?
On the private chat.
Oh, sweet. I'm just still sorting this camera, boys. Bear with me. I will be on cam. Don't worry.
It's all good. So this is just like switching back and forth between the two, as you'd expect. It's weird because I've never actually had to physically kind of sit and commentate on wrestling. It's normally just your big time armchair, just. And when you have to physically think about the actual, like, describing the moves and stuff, like, you never think about it before.
I'd be lost now. I'm like, maybe back in the day, I'd be good with that. But now,
first win of the evening. Seth's just stomped again, and is it done? This is the thing, because you can't have sound. Oh yeah, it's done. Because you can't have sound on, you really need to like watch for your counts and stuff. But thankfully, I've been doing this like YouTube game a little while with the football, so you learn how to make sure you're right with things. But yeah, the first match is a Seth win. From what I saw when I wasn't taking the predictions, it was really back and forth. Which I kind of come to expect with the talent of both of them. Seth's on one hell of a run of this title now. It must be getting.
He is.
It must be getting an awful long time because he seems to have had it for an age. I'm going to actually have a look.
Did you see the Last Man Standing match at Fastlane?
I didn't know. I don't tend to.
It was good. I liked it. I did. I thought it was a hell of a match, to be honest.
I really don't. I honestly don't tend to watch the WWE pay-per-views apart from the big ones. And then when I do watch one, like the day after or whatever, I'll tend to just skip to the matches that I actually really want to see. So there's someone coming out now. Oh, shoot.
Money in the Bank.
Damian Priest looks like he wants to cash in.
Sami Zayn. Hang on, what's going on? He's took his fucking briefcase. Sammy's.
So Damian Priest has tried to cash in, and then boom, jeez. Oh, I must be with the other because I've just seen what's happened with Sammy.
Yeah,
That's
Sammy's
just run
off.
after the money in the bank.
Sammy's
What?
off.
I think that's
Sammy's
a first. I genuinely think that's a first. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
No, I've never seen that. Certainly,
that's such a good angle. To be fair, for once, I'm actually like applauding something that WWE's done for like something like off the cuff.
I thought that was funny. I did. I like.
Bad.
I don't know the story behind why Sammy's done that. What is there a story behind that, or
I don't think so, but I imagine that will be a story built in now for sure. Oh, that's ace. So yeah, that's that. Oh my god. Off topic. Crocs are announcing McDonald's Crocs soon. Wonderful. There's a little bit of pointless information for everybody. So yeah, Drew's in the back now. So that's Rhea. Rhea stood by Drew, and Rhea's kind of just shrugged her shoulders and gone, "Oh, well." That would be cool. So if he then went on to fight Dom in NXT, that could be a story. So yeah, next matchup, Fatal 5-Way. This one is really just super unpredictable. I knew there was something I could do. I'm going to post on my social medias that I'm live here. I already did my Insta post yesterday, but I'm going to post. Come join. I'm live for Crown.
So I have a cam, right? But it's laggy. I don't know why it's so laggy. Because it's wired as well.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Right. Let me. So I need to get the link to this so I can actually post it on my YouTube. So it's pointless me posting to promote it if I don't have the link to the video, isn't it? Cultaholics watch along. 1.5k people are watching it currently.
Jesus.
Well, that's a heck of a lot of people watching a reactions video.
Yeah, they're good with what they do. They're they're one of the channels that I sort of got inspiration off to make the channel. Actually,
they're the benchmark. They're just the top of the tree. Like nobody will touch them. Just for the thing that they've created is just amazing.
Those and What Culture. I love a bit of What Culture. I can't lie.
Yeah,
Culture. Can't not love them.
Yeah, I do like What Culture, but it's Cultaholic all the way for me. Like, I just think the What Culture is very kind of like to the point. So I'll explain that. So like, kind of, they just do wrestling stuff and that's it. Like, they don't go any further than that. Whereas Cultaholic go past that, and they've done like comedy videos in the past.
Yeah. But that's what I like about What Culture, the fact they incorporate sort of some comedy into just the wrestling videos. They're just funny guys to me. I don't know if everyone gets that, but I get that for sure. Like I just find their humor funny, if you get me. Especially the bald one, I forgot his name, but he's funny. The one who had a match on TNA actually, Impact.
Oh yeah, actually. Out of I do know who you mean. Can't think of his name.
Was it yesterday?
Yeah, it was. I wish I'd known about that sooner because I'd have actually loved to go to it. I found out like later on, and it was like a week to the event. Else I'd have gone. Right.
What I do find about What Culture though is a little criticism on their ups and downs. They're always giving ups, no matter what. Like they give so many ups. They need to be more critical. I think. Like that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think that's why Cultaholic is so good. Is because they'll like if it's crap, they'll tell you it is.
Yeah.
Like so honest about the product, and that's the only way that like because obviously that's the only way to hit the market of not the younger people, because the younger people
Hello.
the younger people will like obviously see everything as amazing, whereas the older people like our age will see like past the like the glitz and the glamour of it and see if somebody messes up, we'll see that. So you have to be honest if you want to hit a target of anyone over the age of, I don't know, 18. Like, so, right. So come join. I'm live for Control. Comment and say hello. So I have now posted on. I'm going to post on Instagram again because that was last night. I wanted people enough time to see it. Honestly, the setup in the arena looks incredible.
It does
Like
look
the
good.
lights.
Where is it?
Like,
Is it in Saudi or is
it's
it like?
inside, yeah.
Yeah.
So they've
That makes
signed
sense then.
a couple of years ago. They signed a contract with Saudi to do that in the next 5 or 6 years and bring at least one pay-per-view every year. Because there is apparently a massive following of wrestling in Saudi. Unlike the boxing of last week, where by the looks of it, there isn't many real boxing fans. There's certainly a heck of a lot of wrestling fans in Saudi. A bit like when they came to the UK, and like when AEW came to the UK, they don't. They're only realizing now. I don't know how it's taken them so long. They're only realizing now that they need to utilize not just the American crowd. And I think by WWE doing Money in the Bank this year, which I don't think was as much as success as Clash in the Castle, to be fair, but certainly AEW bringing it to Wembley, they've certainly had to take stock, and now they're actually like TNA has just come to the UK. Money in the Bank, I'm sure they'll
Tell you
be
what,
doing.
I've got a bet on Sam.
Go on.
I've got a bet on. Do you want to tell you my bet?
You've got a bet on?
My bet is, yeah. Do you want me to tell you what my bet is?
Go on.
Nia Jax is injuring someone.
See, she's one of these people that really I don't like, because not as a person but as a wrestler, because they're just so like one trick. She'll just come in, flatten everybody, and then that's all she'll do, and then she'll spend the rest of the time just it's just like a one trick. Everybody keeps on this match as well. Everybody bar one has tripped on the mat as they come into the ring.
I've never been that. I've never been a fan of that style of wrestling like Nia Jax. Like, I've never been a fan of that style ever. Like, doesn't matter who it is. You could go through anyone who's like a powerhouse, like run through, like Goldberg. I hate that sort of style. Like, I'm more of a technical style man.
Oh, yeah,
if you get me.
Sure. I don't have a clue who this is, to be fair, but we've got.
It's a cool fucking entrance, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we've got. I'm trying to be very careful with my words here. We have some gentlemen coming out in
robes and
yeah.
What do you call them? What do you call them?
I can't think what you call them.
The Saudi outfits.
Yeah, the Saudi outfits. A bit like
yeah.
the thing I can put it to is a bit like Jesus and the disciples. That sort of Jesus and the disciples and a school sort of vibe. It's kind of what it looks like. But yeah, this is a heck of a build-up of an entrance.
Yeah, I'm liking it. It's the music's reminding me of like Assassin's Creed.
And it's also reminding me. It's also giving me vibes of like a Taker entrance as well, like an old school Taker entrance where he just like have all these people lined up.
with the druids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
big time. Right, so I will make one final post on Instagram, and then after that, if people don't want to come and watch,
I should have posted on the Wrestle Dawgs Instagram, but I totally forget about it. I need to get more active on that.
so good.
It's all
always
about the YouTube right now, though, eh?
Yeah. I suppose at least then we can kind of measure. If you haven't posted it on the Instagram account, at least we can measure what happens without promotion on the Instagram. And then we can work out next time. We can promote it and then see.
Yeah. Well, this is the first one, boys. So give us a bit of leeway. Give us a bit of leeway. I haven't got my camera going yet, obviously, for obvious reasons, as Sam knows. I'll be there in a minute.
Yeah. It's just that the cameras it malfunctions sometimes, and we've got kind of it just tends to be in periods of sort of 20 minutes. In periods, it sometimes just goes off. It's beyond our control. So that was such a sick entrance, to be fair. And that title. That and the IC title just look amazing on the white back. On a white.
Do you know what though?
Good.
Sam, I can't really think how the IC title looks right now, so I'm gonna look at it just before I say this because I don't want to offend you, right? But
no, it's all good. It looks pretty much the same as what the women's title looks like. It's on a white back. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not really a fan. You know what? I'm just a sucker for the old ones. I'm a sucker for nostalgia. You know what I mean? So like,
they're not like they used to be, but I just like it when they're not like a traditional, because the traditional is just to have like a black back and then just you type like all your plaques and stuff. But on its white, I think it like brings up, if you've got like a gold, it brings up the gold. Like the gold looks better on the title.
Yes, fair enough.
Come and see.
What's your opinion on the Cena spinner title? Like,
it's one of the best. It's one of the best.
I think so. Some people hate that, you know. Like, some people actually hate it. I don't know how.
Shocking. No, I don't. So cool. I'm also I don't know. I think I like after watching his old DVD Word Life when he was like the rapper Cena. I think I prefer that character to the modern Never Give Up Cena that we have, because he was just like, it was great for storylines because he was just like, he'd come out rapping but then completely diss the other person. It was great. Them
old school, like,
the old school
what is it, Dr. Fugonomics, isn't it?
Yeah, right? Dr. Fugonomics.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that was sick. I was only young then as well, and it was so funny.
Yeah,
like,
I was. So
Kurt Angle.
That's having these like DVDs now, because like there's so much wrestling that I missed before I started watching wrestling that I can just go back and watch. Like, and if I keep thinking, if I give up these DVDs, the network's okay. They keep all the rest, like all the manias and stuff, but they haven't got any like the documentaries. And I've got like the Eddie Guerrero story documentary. I've got Chris Benoit's documentary that's on DVD. Brian Pillman's another one. I'm just looking. RVT, One of a Kind. Who else? The Mick Foley one, the McMahon one. But like the McMahon one was like when he was having his feud with Stone Cold and stuff. So that's really cool to look back on. Got an NWO one. that I was really gassed to find. So yeah,
So
that's why I keep.
you've got everything. You've got everything there. We get it.
Nah, there's so many. The problem is, like, when before the network came around, like wrestling DVDs collecting was such a big thing, like such a big thing. But since the network, it's kind of killed it. I've still got that kind of same excitement for collecting DVDs because I think it's because because we're in the UK, so wrestling DVDs are only at like Asda. Now they're owned by Walmart, and the other one you had to go to like CEX, and that's like a hunt to find DVDs.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I really like it, and I'm never going to give up my DVDs because I think this about like all the DVDs I've got now, like on Netflix and all these streaming platforms, we're actually only getting modern films. We're not going back to like some of like Jack Nicholson's old films or Robin Williams' old films. Like we're losing so many of them. So by me having them on DVD, I know that they're gonna like I'm gonna keep them for future because I certainly know that some of these films that like all my favorite films are pretty much every single one I like before I was born or when I was really young. So
Yeah,
I
do you
don't
know what?
want to
It's the
lose.
same for me. Like, I don't think there's any film that I'd go back and watch that's made after I was born, to be fair.
Yeah, like
Like, I,
I've got some like ones that are really like high up in my like pecking order that are like modern films. But if when I go back and look at my favorite films, like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Clockwork Orange, what else? I think off the top of my head now.
oh, what a legend.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I'm looking at my my DVDs as I speak because I've so yeah, like
Nia Jax going off on one ear. Oh, as I say,
oh,
that
well,
she just runs into the ring post. She's definitely going to injure someone, man.
oh yeah, big time. I'm going off complete tangent, but yeah, like those sort of films, like American Beauty, I'm just looking at, and like other films like that, are like either before my time or like just as I was really young. So yeah, that was just a completely different segment, but it started off on it, I suppose. How much?
Oh, Nia Jax and Rhea in submissions here.
But
What do you think
imagine,
about
right?
Rhea anyway? Like as a looker, Sam. What would you say? Because a lot of people think she's fire. I'm not on that train. I don't
No,
think so.
I'm not.
I'm not on that train. I'm
She's,
more of a Tory Wilson kind of guy.
yeah,
More of a
she's
you know what I
thing
mean?
is she's too mean as well. There's a line between mean and too mean,
Oh,
and she
she'd
crosses
dominate in
that
the bedroom.
boundary of too mean, right?
She'd
Like
dominate.
most divas are pretty badass and pretty like mean anyway, but she crosses the line of too mean. And if you're in a relationship with you, if you were in a relationship with her, you wouldn't last 5 minutes because
No,
you'd
no,
be
no.
out in it like there'd be a hole dug
The,
for you in the back garden, basically.
yeah, the whips and chains would be out as soon as you're home. Like,
Yeah. I'm trying to think back. Um, one that so is my sort of when I was watching wrestling when I was younger, everybody was on Kelly, I think it was at the time.
oh yeah, Kelly.
And that was everyone, like everyone would just go nuts.
That's my time.
But that was also when you look back though, it's really bad how I know it was a thing of the time, and at that time it was perfectly fine to do that. But when you actually go back and look at how the they were actually commentated on, like the Divas matches, I love Jerry Lawler to death, but the way that they spoke about the female wrestlers, you look back now and you kind of cringe.
It's crazy,
course,
isn't it?
but it's crazy. But of
It's
course,
crazy.
at the time,
Wild.
which is what I, because a lot of people go, "Oh my god, it's terrible," but it wasn't terrible because at that time, yes, we cringe now because of how
Yeah,
society is.
it's different times. Like
But
that's
at
what
that
made
time,
wrestling so great.
yeah,
If you ask me.
because at that time, when you look back, like the divas now are amazing wrestlers, and some of them, if not all of them, are as good as the men at what they do. Whereas back then, it was the show. It wasn't because they were good wrestlers. Yes, some of them were, but the majority of them weren't great wrestlers.
They were models in it. Like
yeah,
they were like model. Yeah,
in the nicest possible way, they were.
like Tori Wilson was literally like that was a gimmick, wasn't it? A Playboy, but like a Playboy, whatever you
They
call
all
it.
were.
Like,
you only have to look at like the DVDs that were released at the time on the Divas, and they were all like, none of them were the Divas wrestling. They were all like them on the beach or going out together. Like none of the DVDs at the time and the material like around it was based on them wrestling. So they knew that at the time, like now, the women's title and stuff is as big as a draw as the men's title. Because they've got genuinely really good female wrestlers now. But yeah, at the time they had to sell something different. They couldn't sell the wrestling because it was awful. It was just literally hair grabbing, slams, and that was it. There was nothing more to it.
Like I gotta say,
so yeah,
Divas wrestling now, like women's wrestling, it's definitely improved. Like wrestling wise, like they're much better wrestlers these days. Sure. I'd say.
Oh
like,
yeah,
just watching these now.
Some of the best. Yeah, like when I sit back and watch, like often I'll actually enjoy because obviously the men's, certainly in WWE anyway, the men's you can kind of tell what's going on, what's kind of happening. Whereas the women's, I think, is really unpredictable, and actually they have to be like amazing technical wrestlers.
The only one I really can't get
just
behind right now is Nia Jax. Nia Jax is awful to me. Like, just watching her now as well.
I've never liked it. I've really never liked it. Yeah, because she's really. The thing is, if she was a good wrestler, I would let her off. But she's an awful, awful, awful wrestler. Because literally,
just the way she comes off as well,
just slams, just like... jumps off the top rope, yeah, and that's it. Like,
oh my god,
she makes it look so. My god, if she picks her up, holy sugar balls,
in it.
Wow, Raquel Rodriguez, that's my pick. Oh, it's been
close.
It's been broke. Thought I was going to get surprise of the night there.
Oh,
to be fair, so far
caught in a choke
really good matches. Normally, like the first couple of matches are like.
I'm enjoying this. I'm definitely enjoying this, and I'm, you know, I'm an old school guy. I'm not used to this new school stuff, but I'm enjoying this match for sure.
Like normally, like I say, the first couple of matches are like squash matches normally.
Yeah.
But this is certainly not. I've just seen
this is a good match
because when we had a viewer before. So when we had a viewer before, it was when I was on YouTube to share it to Instagram and Facebook. I got really excited because I was like, oh my god, there's someone watching. But I've come off that, and there is actually now 2 people watching. Oh no, down to 1. But we are.
Well, whoever is watching, get in the chat, boys. Give us a chat. Let us know what you're thinking of the show so far. If you're watching, and if you're not watching, let us know what you're expecting from tonight. What are your predictions for tonight? Rhea, guess the fucking pin, mate. Yeah. Sam, I'll be back in a minute. I'm just gonna go get a drink, quick time, and I'll be back with you.
Wait, I'll switch with you when you come back.
Cool.
So I have lost that prediction. So we were 1-0. We were a prediction each, but now Carl's taken the lead because I had Raquel Rodriguez. She nearly took the pin, but I did think Rhea was going to retain. I thought it might be different, but it's not. Such an excellent finish, to be fair. There was two wrestlers down on top of each other, and Rhea had, I think it was Raquel Rodriguez, in her arms, and literally just slammed them onto the top of the other. It was a really good match, to be fair. First 2 matches have been really, really good. So yeah, we are down to 2 matches have gone flown by, absolutely flown by. So Rhea's just talking trash, and we go to a VT of the undisputed title. So I've got no idea what this one is about, to be fair. LA Knight's just come on. I guess it's kind of a promo of what they all think about Saudi Arabia. Obviously, it's a bit hard to tell without. Okay, that's made me feel a bit more at ease. I've managed to get the football on at the same time. Oh my God, we've got 3 viewers. Let us know who you are, where you're watching from in the comments. Love to hear from you. So yeah, we're still on the promo VT of, I guess it's what Saudi Arabia looks like, and how the superstars have found their experiences there without kind of knowing what's actually going on. So I have now lost my stream, which is wonderful. They are previewing the next pay-per-view, which is my favourite. Have you managed to see any of these matches before, Carl?
What's that, sorry?
The War Games matches. Have you managed to see any of them?
Nah, what is it?
Oh, it's amazing. So War Games is where you have 2 rings side by side. They've got a cage around the outside.
Right.
One person starts from each team. So two. So they fight for an advantage. So 2 people start from one team, and one starts from the other. And then it's a bit like the Rumble, where every couple of minutes somebody else goes in. And then I believe they both have 6. So you've got 12 people wrestling in 2 rings with a cage around the outside. It's just carnage. NXT were the first people that did it. NXT did a War Games separate pay-per-view for like 2 or 3 years, which was insane. And then the main roster went, maybe we should do this now because this is doing really well. And they stole it and have made one of their annual pay-per-views, War Games now.
See, I don't even think I've ever seen anything about that. Like, I'm so out of the loop. I'm so out.
So I thought it was like a new concept, War Games, but it's not. WCW used to do a lot of War Games back in the day.
Did they?
Because there's actually the only reason I know that is because there's a DVD of WCW's best.
That could be a good video idea, actually.
Yeah,
the history of War Games, maybe.
Yeah, big time. I looked into it a little bit.
Write that down.
That could be an actually really good idea because you could use WCW stuff, and that would make me go and watch the DVD to find out more about it. So I'm all down for that. I'm all down for finding the DVD and watching it. So it used to be one of my favorite things to do. The people that used to make the DVDs used to be called Silver Vision.
Yeah.
And they used to have a website. They used to have a weekly show. And one of my favorite things to do was when I knew I had a delivery coming, and I'd just sit and watch the documentary as soon as it came through the post. Like, it was just ace.
Hold on, my camera's gone off, boys. Give us a second.
It's all good. So we are actually going on to the Cena match now, by the looks of it. Because I don't tend to watch weekly SmackDown and Raws either. So it's quite cool that I do that, because when I get to a pay-per-view, I can watch the promo before and not know anything about it. So it's great. I do that on purpose. So then that you get like doubly excited about the match, because you see the promo before it and you don't know anything about it, like other than what the match is, of course, and a little bit of background. So now's the time in the video that I'm going to position my John Cena Funko Pop on screen if I can.
Oh my god, we're at John Cena versus Solo already.
Yeah,
that's got quick.
I don't really quite know. I'm trying to position him somewhat. Can you see him there? Ah, he's here. He's here. So he's gonna fall off though straight away.
Oh, boys. What's going on here?
DIY with Sam. How to hold up a Funko Pop on the back of a bed. That's not gonna work.
Oh, boys. Honest to God, this camera.
Right.
Give me strength.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a pile of pillows, and then John Cena will sit on the top. Well, maybe not sit, maybe fall over. How weird
Not
is
sure
this?
what's happened here.
I never thought I'd see the day where I'm watching a Cena match, sat next to mini version of Cena. Right, I'm thinking way too much into this. If I stand a controller behind Cena, then he might stand up. Class. He's actually stood up now. So Cena's actually here with me for this match. Which is, again, something I never thought I'd do. Watching Cena sat with a plastic Cena live on YouTube.
I'm with your boy Kyle Jones over here.
Who would have thought it that from a music brands competition 2 years in the future I'd be on commentating wrestling sat next to a plastic John Cena. Things in life are crazy.
It's a trip. Life's a trip.
It is, for sure. Oh, I've got the football on in the background, so if I randomly start celebrating, you'll know what's happened. It's all kicking off.
Because
it's all kicking off at Arsenal. Havertz is pushing people about because he can't play football, so he's possessed to pushing people about instead. And
what's your prediction for that anyway? I know it's off topic, but we got to get it.
I think it's going to be a tough one. We're both off the back of losses, to be fair. In the week, we lost to West Ham in the cup. Oh, no, Newcastle won, sorry. Newcastle beat Man United.
They did. Let's not talk about
that. We came off the back of a loss to West Ham. So it's 0-0 at the moment. It's nearly half time, to be fair. But like I said, I've been watching it. The main focus is the wrestling.
The wrestling. Let's stick to the wrestling.
I have enough of watching the football and shouting at it that I actually prefer. And this is why I enjoy watching my basketball, my wrestling, etc., because I don't. It's not that I'm less passionate about the other sports. It's just it doesn't make me rage. I can watch the wrestling and just enjoy it for what it is. I can watch the basketball and just watch it for what it is. Whereas when it comes to football, I'm just that passionate and that invested in it that I work myself up to a point that you probably shouldn't be in. But I guess that's pretty much every football fan summed up in a couple of sentences. I'm actually shocked at the amount of I don't want to sound really bad when I say this, but it's normally a male dominated sport anyway for crowds. It's very very rare that you see like many. Normally it's like wives of the husbands that have kind of dragged them to the events. Whereas when I'm looking around this crowd, there is like tons and tons of females watching it, which is just blows my mind. Because normally they're the ones that go, "Oh, it's fake." They don't
to be
really.
fair though, I was watching. What was I watching? It was an AEW. I think it was when Edge returned. Adam Copeland.
He's never going to be called that for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, in it. But anyway, I think it was when he was returning, and there was loads of women in the crowd there. I was proper stunned by it. Actually, you just reminded me of it.
I do think there's a reason for this, though. To be fair, I do think because the women wrestlers are getting so much better. I think it's actually you're seeing like an influx of younger females that want to kind of learn to wrestle now because of.
Well, there's much more, isn't there? Much more women wrestlers,
Like
so they got
before,
more role models.
Like we were mentioning earlier, like they weren't really wrestlers, so they were just kind of they were just kind of basically something for the men to look at without being horrible. They were at that time.
Yeah.
But now, because you've got actual female wrestlers at the top of this card, it's bringing out a new kind of because there's certainly quite a few. Because obviously during my time, it's a shame because the company that I went to see in Lincoln a couple of times, I got to see Will Ospreay and people like that. They've actually gone into liquidation because the guys run off with all the money again, which is a real shame because I was really enjoying the events that I went to. But I'm just so blessed that I got to see Will Ospreay, Matt Cardona for Will Ospreay, James Storm. Who else?
You seen Matt Cardona versus Will Ospreay?
Matt Cardona versus Will Ospreay was the last event at Lincoln that they did.
Crazy.
So that was their last event before all of the money issues that they had, and they found out that obviously he ran off with all the money. Basically, he was paying some of the talent and not all of the talent. So basically, what was happening is the same that happened previously, like because they were running to like 2006. They used to book like all these American wrestlers. And because the American wrestlers demanded such a high fee and it was in their contract that they could only like wrestle for 10 minutes or they could only do this or that, they were spending all their money on the wrestlers, like American wrestlers. And then they didn't have enough money for to fill up the rest of the card. So that's what bankrupt. And then I think the same happened again. They tried to get big names because obviously you need big names to sell tickets. Like they had to know, I'm missing one. So Rhino fought, which was just so amazing. I actually met him as well and shook his hand. That's going to be like
no way. That's sick.
Yeah, because like halfway through each show, because obviously the wrestlers obviously get a fee, but like the American wrestlers are obviously like a big draw. They would have their own like merch, and they had the opportunity to like sign stuff. So I met Rhino at that first one. He was such a cool guy. You couldn't think of you see this like in-ring persona of like somebody that'll like kill people for fun.
Yeah.
But away from the ring, he was like the nicest. The nicest guy you'll ever meet. Like I said, we haven't got any. I was like, well, I ain't got any cash because he wanted like money for autographs and stuff. Which is fair enough. Like if they're flying over from America and they're a big draw, then it's just the norm, isn't it? So he was like, "Oh no, don't worry about that. We'll have a picture." Nicest guy, and then Ruby Riot or Ruby Soho, as she called on AEW. She was also at that pay-per-view. Went over and spoke to her. She was the kindest person as well. It's so cool to like meet them outside of the ring because you see them as just like this wrestler, and you sometimes forget that they're just a normal like a human being outside of the ring.
Do you know what though? I bet there's some certain wrestlers like I bet MJF's one of them where you meet them and they're still in kayfabe, like always.
Oh no,
like, do you know what I mean?
MJF outside the ring is so he'll. So I thought the same, to be fair, but MJF outside the ring is apparently the nicest person.
Is it?
It's literally all the show.
Because
Sometimes,
I,
like, he'll obviously
go
stay
on,
in
go on.
character a little bit. He will like be a little bit like he is in the wrestling ring outside, I'd imagine. But I haven't heard one single person that says. I've heard certain individuals that that were like starting out wrestling because MJF has been around for a long time. Obviously, he's only just kind of last couple of years took off. Been around wrestling for a long time, and I've heard certain things that MJS has like stopped with someone all day, just like grappling them over and over again to teach them something. And that's so far away from what they are, what he is as a wrestler. For example, there's a really good example. So Will Ospreay, in character, he's sort of like this loudmouth, sort of uber confident. Nobody touches me. I'm the best in the world.
Cena ducking the Samoan spike.
Sort of.
Oh, super kick though. Sorry.
So yeah, so he's in character. He's like this, but at the end of one of the 1PW shows, there was actually like an altercation with a fan that had clearly been drinking all day, had decided to just randomly punch another guy in the crowd, and it was just it was just after Will Ospreay had won the 1PW title, and in the middle of that altercation with those two fans, there was like a young kid, so he was in like the middle of this like brawl and punch up. So I've never seen somebody change so fast. So Will Ospreay snapped out of character so quick, because in the 1PW storyline, Greg Burridge was his manager at the time. Quickly, like literally sprinted out the ring. Will Ospreay has obviously told him to like get that kid out of there, basically. So they brought the kid over the road, over like where everyone was standing, brought him into the ring, and he got past the microphone. He just said, "There's certain times like this that I have to snap character, snap out of my character. Whatever happened down there, could not be."
STF from Cena.
Go on. It just makes me laugh because his hair transplant looks so fake, doesn't it? It looks so fake. It looks like somebody's just stuck some like hair on his head. It looks so fake.
And they just missed a bit.
Yeah, literally. If I'd have gone to Turkey or wherever we went for that hair, I'd be taking it back. I'd want a refund on that.
Yeah,
that's all I do. Because that's the whole idea of it. If you're going to have an hair transplant, you want it to look real. You don't want it to look fake. Yeah. Something looks like somebody's just glued some hair on his head. Like
he's been had off there.
Yeah, big time. And you'd thought somebody with that sort of money would go to the best that he can.
Yeah. How could you do that to John Cena? Like, I wouldn't leave him until it's done.
If I did something wrong to John Cena, I'd never sleep again. I would never sleep again.
Oh,
Solo.
Kick out, baby. Come on, Cena. I'm actually rooting for Cena. You know what? I've grown to like Cena over the years.
Oh, it's just I've always liked him, even when like everybody else hated him. He's one of these people that even the people that claimed that they hated him at the time, I don't think really hated him.
Nah, I've never hated him, but I was, back in the day, like when him and Edge had that feud, like 2006 time. I was an Edgehead. I'm not gonna lie, I was an Edgehead. But saying that, at the same time, just after that, I'm pretty sure when Edge and Randy Orton teamed up, rated RKO, I started to hate Edge and Randy Orton because of DX.
Mad. I used to absolutely hate both of them because everybody was the same. Like, literally nobody liked them at all. Everyone was DX. Everyone.
Yeah, everyone.
But it wasn't until... So at that time, you hated him, so you didn't really see his talent, both of their talents at the
No,
time.
that's how good they were as heels. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And
that's how
then
good they were.
it was only afterwards. So like back in like 2007, maybe 2008, I started collecting my wrestling DVDs. My first one that was like a box set was an Edge box set, and it was literally, there was no documentary. It was just literally all of his matches, and I remember watching that from start to finish. And I never get, if it's just matches and it's a DVD, I'll never tend to watch like all of them. I'll just like pick ones that like I want to see, or ones that are like people have said you must see this. But I remember watching that DVD from start to finish and watching every single match on the, obviously 3 discs. You're going to get through a lot of matches, and I must. That's a good note for me, because I must get that DVD back, because I don't have it anymore. But I'm gonna have to get it, because I think that was like one of my first wrestling DVDs.
Samoan drop. Big Samoan
Another
drop.
one of my first DVDs was actually that ECW One Night Stand. That was one of my first wrestling DVDs.
The only one I've ever had, I think, actual like WWE merchandise DVD was the new and improved DX.
Oh yeah,
that thing.
I think I've got it here. I picked it up the other day actually. That
was the only one I've had. Like, but obviously back in the day, I used to. Oh, that takes me back. That does.
I'm still yet to watch it, to be fair, because I've not actually seen it before. But it's literally like, it looks so cool, because it's literally it's all like, there's some matches obviously on the last one, but from what I can see, it's literally just like
loads of funny moments.
There isn't any matches on it. Like there's some matches on the DVD extras. There's 5 matches, but then other than that, it's like segments.
Loads of funny moments. I'll always remember the one where Triple H is like outside, like he's like cooking something up on the barbecue, and like one of the divas, I can't remember who it was, but they like come over and start speaking to him, whatever, and there's a very sexual innuendo that goes on.
Mad, isn't it? With the things that they actually used to be able to get away with, because on the TV, on the TV at the time, because it was still quite I don't know, it's still quite a, how do I describe it? It was in a world that was still quite, I don't know. You were still kind of hidden from like the harsher things in life when I was younger anyway. So like wrestling could get away with saying something really super like offensive or sexual, because only the adults would kind of get it. Whereas if they were to do that now, they would be kicked off the face of the screen. You'd never see wrestling again. It's a shame, really, because I do think it was like, well, people will obviously go back, and I don't think there's any kind of debate about it, that sort of era of wrestling was like the best era of wrestling, and nothing will ever touch it again, because
never.
What they were able to do. That whole kind of Monday Night War sort of section that made WWE have the Attitude Era, they were just like times that we'll never ever see as wrestling again, because of obviously it's a different world now. And like I say, they couldn't get away with literally anything that they did back then. To be honest with you, I'm going to put my Cena Pop figure back up, because I don't think it's helping him, to be fair, because he's getting absolutely
not right now. Not right now.
But that was literally all that Cena used to do, wasn't it? He never really used to wrestle at all. He just used to get beaten up for like 90% of the match, and then 10% he would come back, do STFU, we have to call it now.
Here we go. This is like the 4th or 5th Samoan spike he's gone for. He's stopped it again.
Oh, class. I think we're actually in time now. I've changed the stream on my completely legal streaming stick.
Yeah.
And we're actually now in time. because before it was better quality, but I'd rather be in less quality and be on time because that's when you can actually get reactions.
He's going to get the rope, it looks like.
Yeah,
He's got the rope.
I think they're doing Cena a disservice this match. I can't lie. Because he's literally just having him getting beaten up, like super beaten up. Yes,
to be fair, he hasn't took a Samoan spike yet.
Yeah, it's half of what Cena is. I get that. His whole gimmick is I get battered for the whole of the match and then I come
Never
back.
give up, innit? Like that's it. Yeah.
But I think we've gone past the stage now where we need to do that because he's coming towards the end of his career. So
there it is, Samoan spike.
So he's becoming less and less frequent on shows. So I think they should just let him like enjoy it now and have amazing matches.
Is this going to be over now?
He's like yeah, it's the second one.
Oh, there it is.
He's like again, this is the sort of our Cena, Randy Orton, Edge. They're sort of our generational superstars. Like they'll be ones that we go on in 15, 20 years time and say, when I watch wrestling, when I get to 90, I'll say when I watch wrestling, I had people like Edge, Cena, CM Punk, MJF. Like these are just wrestlers that we aren't going to get again. They don't come around very often unless we unless they all have families, and then we'll have a family of wrestlers again. It's normally how it works, isn't it? It's normally one starts wrestling, and then every single. God. This is brutal.
He's just some. That's about
someone spikes him about 10 times. That's it, finished. I think that's a bit of a poor finish, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm not
entirely happy with that. I thought the match itself was really good, but I'm not particularly happy with that finish because that was just a squash finish. Like,
yeah.
So I've lost these predictions already. So I've got lost on that one. You've won on that. So you've got literally every prediction correct so far.
Well, what do you know?
We ought to see. I kicked myself because if you get all of these right now, there is one betting app that allows you to bet on wrestling, and I could have done that. That could, to be fair, that could be a thing for future streams. To be fair,
yeah,
for sure. Because I know I can't remember off the top of my head. It seems completely ridiculous to bet on something that's predetermined.
Yeah.
It just adds entertainment. Like that's why I put money on the football at the weekend. Like I put £1 on all the Premier League results because then I have to look at the results and actually pay attention. Rather than if I just watch Arsenal every week, I don't pay attention to the other results. So at least then me and a couple of friends can actually have something to work towards at the weekend. I'm pleased I'm not watching this because, I don't know if I'm pleased I'm not watching this or not because we're drawing, but it just looks like they're having a scrap with each other, to be honest. Right, in the middle of this match. It is, yeah, it's half time. In this match, because obviously there'll be a promo to the next match, I'm going to run to the loo and get a drink. I'll be back.
No worries. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Not a great finish. Cena gets battered with them Samoan spikes, them deadly Samoan spikes. Nasty. It's nasty. Now, I'm in a bit of a situation here, boys. I want to smoke. But I don't know if I can. But we're going to risk it. And we're going to do it slyly. Incense sticks. Oh, that's nice to see. Cena getting a standing ovation, getting a round of applause from the fans after that squash. Getting squashed by Solo. Well, the match itself, it was quite back and forth. He did get out the way of about 4 or 5 Samoan spikes, but then he took about 8 on the ground before the finish. But he's getting a good reception from the crowd here. I can't make out what they're chanting. Could be like "Thank you, Cena" or something. I don't know. Maybe. Hopefully. Because he deserves it. That man deserves it. Fair play. I'm not happy with that finish, though. And if that one person who's watching right now, yeah, I can see you. I can see you. Get in the chat. Let me know what you think of that. If you just saw what happened. Cena getting basically squashed by Solo. It was a nasty finish. About 8 Samoan spikes. Nasty. Sam should be back in a minute as well. But right now it's just me and you. So get in the chat, mucker. Because we vibing with a cuppa. Who's next? Anyway, let me just check who's next. Yeah. Oh, I think it's Logan and Rey Mysterio. Now, I think Logan's probably going to win this and win the title. And I don't know what I think about that. I do not know what I think about that. Like, I'm not a Logan Paul fan, I'll be honest, right? But I can respect his in-ring skills. He's a natural athlete. But his character, the way he is, his personality, I don't know. Let me know what you think. But I'm not a fan. I'll be honest. I'm not a fan. Hopefully Rey gets it done. But I don't think so. Oh, actually, it's not Rey and Logan. It's looking like Miz is coming out. So we got the Miz. It's got a pretty sick theme song if you ask me. It's one of them ones that have lasted years and for a good reason. Now let's take a little toke of the old smoke. Sneakiness. All right, we're going to see what's going down with the Miz.
How about that? I've come back and I haven't missed a single thing.
Yeah, you haven't. Literally just missed an entrance.
That? It's almost like I knew. I'm psychic.
As if he's still using the theme song. I've just noticed. Like, I did say, like, it's probably one of my favorites, actually.
Oh,
like,
yeah. I used Here is another one that I used to absolutely hate because, like, during 2011, when I started watching it again, because I had a break where I didn't, and during that time, like, the Miz and Cena were like two of the biggest names on the roster, and you either liked Miz or hated Cena, or loved Cena. Oh yeah. So Posh Bertie is one of the guys that I mentioned to you the other day on Gooner Gathering. Little plug for them there.
Nice to meet you, Posh Bertie.
That will definitely get them on for the next one because they always make. So they're a YouTube. So obviously they've got the Arsenal YouTube channel that we do stuff on, but they're always constantly making like wrestling references during the streams. Nobody else gets it, but there's like three of us that just like chuckle to each other. We'll definitely have to get them on for one of these for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely.
I didn't expect him to pop in, but I think they had to because they normally do like watch-alongs of the games. But I don't think they're able to do it tonight. So, Posh, if you're watching, I'll message them if they want to jump on because they're more than welcome to.
Yeah, no, of course.
I'll message them. Leave it with me. I don't know if they'll be watching the football, but obviously there's only 45 minutes of the football left. So I'll message them. Bear with me. Two of the nicest people I know for sure. Where are they? See, I have to mute this. The problem is I'm in a group chat on WhatsApp, a WWE like WhatsApp, and they all like religiously watch it. The problem is the only time I've stopped up to watch a couple of pay-per-views over the last few years, one in lockdown and Money in the Bank in the lockdown, which I had to see like this match type. So they had the match type. Do you know like the old wrestling games when you could go backstage and like use everything as weapons?
Yeah.
Basically did that in a Money in the Bank. So they did it at the Performance Center, and they like went in every corner of the building and ended up on like the roof in a ring for Money in the Bank. It was such a great match. I'll find what year it was. I'll find what year it was because you have to watch it. It's so good. That was like one of the more inventive matches that. Okay, I'll turn my camera back on now.
What do you think about this Grayson Waller? Is he any good?
I really like Grayson Waller because my issue is normally what happens when somebody's massive on NXT, they're amazing on NXT, they then get drafted up to the main roster, and because in NXT they have, I believe, don't quote me on it, but like in AEW, basically you get to. Tony Khan allows his wrestlers to have creative ideas about their own story. They're kind of left to their own devices in terms of they're obviously told who they're going to wrestle, but they're allowed like pretty much total control of what happens. Whereas in WWE, it's the polar opposite. Like you have to do everything by what they say. So, for example, if they wanted Grayson Waller to, I don't know, dress in all pink, wear tassels in his hair and run out and be called something different, he would have to do that under his contract.
Yeah.
So what tends to happen is they have a little bit of creative freedom in NXT where they can kind of grow the character because they know that there isn't so many eyes on NXT as there is on the main roster. So that's when they really kind of like shine and they get to like, so you see your Johnny Gargano's, Tommaso Ciampa, those sort of amazing kind of wrestlers, amazing storylines. You've got to go back and watch some of those NXT between Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano because they were some of the best wrestling matches I've ever seen during their kind of like feud in NXT. They've both kind of come up to the main roster and completely kind of Johnny Gargano's still kind of hanging around, but they've just been completely kind of ruined. They've got this thing of kind of building somebody up in NXT to be this massive thing. They kind of come over to the main roster. All the NXT fans get really, really excited because they think, oh my God, he's actually getting some recognition for what he's done. And then they just kind of ruin them, and then they fall off the face of the earth. And then it actually ends up better for them anyway, because then they leave WWE, end up on the independent circuit, get picked up by AEW. And with AEW, why those... there's fireworks going off in the background. So why those wrestlers in AEW are so happy there is because in their contracts, they can go and fight at all these indie promotions. So like, there's been a massive bust up, and Miz is Posh and yay. If you with us after the game, you're more welcome. Would be good to have you. Fireworks going off in the background. They're clearly that excited that Crown Jewel's on sensible time for UK fans, that they're just getting so excited and they've had to launch the fireworks off. So I'm going to leave this comment on screen, actually, from the one and only Posh Bertie. So, yeah.
Hello.
Where was I at?
Hello.
Oh, and also, the drink that I'm drinking is Iron Brew. There is other soft drink brands available. This is actually the zero sugar kind. And yeah, it tastes quite good, actually. It's not much different. So we're going into the next match. This is the match that I've been looking forward to. This is... All the matches have been pretty good so far, apart from the ending of that Cena. But other than that, they've been really good. This is... I know Carl said he doesn't like the person that Logan Paul is, but I'm the opposite. Like, he's done some incredible... Like, he did something awful, which, yeah, pains me to even think about it. Hello, you back?
Are we back? Yeah. Sorry about that, boys. Fucking hell.
It's all good.
Having a bit of technical difficulties.
It's all good. So yeah, you were mentioning that you didn't like Logan Paul as a person, but I'm going to go against that a little bit, because I know what he did was absolutely awful a long time ago, and I get that.
Wait, what he did?
Yeah.
What he did? Or do you mean like... Because it's not just one thing, let's be honest. There's a...
Oh, no, there's quite a few things.
There's a couple of questionable things that he's done.
So there's a couple of questionable things. Obviously, that famous video. And then recently, he's scammed people out of a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I would counter that and say that he's... So since that video that he did a long time ago, he has tried his best to learn from what mistakes he's had. So he's put a lot of kind of time into realizing what he did was completely wrong. So that part of him, I really like. I also quite like his podcast, but that was mainly not because of him, but because of Mike Merlick, because he's someone I really like. His book's really, like, his story is really good, actually, because obviously he's a extra drug addict, and he speaks a lot
Logan
about...
Paul?
No, Mike Malek, the guy that
Yeah, Mike, yeah.
podcast.
It was bad as well, wasn't it? Wasn't it like heavy drugs? Like
heavy drugs. It was Oxycontin,
oh shit.
which is if people don't know, it's like I believe it's like a pain medication.
Yeah.
That's given out, but it's highly addictive. It's used a lot in America. There's not so much of a problem over here with it, but I know it's a huge thing in America in terms of the like medications that were prescribed for something different, but because they're so cheap, they're like, I think I was reading this book and it works out like you could get like a couple of tablets for like 2p or something ridiculous. So like in UK money, like, it was like $2 or $3 and you could have like 20 or 30. Don't quote me the number, but it was something like ridiculous like that.
That's crazy.
And it's like there's documentaries on Netflix and stuff of how it's like ruining people's lives in America. It's a massive problem they've got. I think that's one of their biggest causes of death in America, like over anything else, is prescribed medication, overdose of prescribed medication. But yeah, this is, like I say, the one that I've been looking forward to the most, because I just think, like I was mentioning before, because Logan's so good on the promo side of things, he's able to kind of, it comes really naturally to him. So there's a massive build up to all of his fights. The fight he had again at Mania, I don't know if it was, I think it was with Seth. I think it was with Seth at this year's Mania. I watched the whole of that pay-per-view. I don't tend to watch like I mentioned before. I don't tend to watch like every religiously all the pay-per-view, but I did watch that because I really enjoyed this year's Mania. There was an Edge Hell in a Cell match as well that I really liked, but it was the Edge Hell in a Cell match, and then the Logan Paul, and I think it was, like I said, I think it was Seth. Those two matches were like proper standout matches for me because they were like the wrestling that I enjoyed, like just wrestling for what it is, like no kind of special kind of finishes or submissions or whatever, and no kind of just standard wrestling. They were just enjoyable to watch. So yeah, this match crosses over from YouTuber boxing to WWE because he called out Rey Mysterio after he fought Dylan Dennis. Obviously, that's another story, and that was complete sham. I'm into like YouTubers taking the step into boxing, but that was the biggest load of trash I've ever seen. I've not seen a worse boxing card in my life, and they got, I think it was they've ended up with like the top pay-per-view sales of like any boxing event, which makes it even more ridiculous because it was just the worst night of boxing I've ever watched.
It was awful. I'll be honest. It was awful.
I've never seen anything as bad as that. Like, if you came into YouTuber boxing having heard nothing about it, watched that pay-per-view, you would have gone, yeah, YouTubers shouldn't be boxing. What's going on here? Oh, Logan Paul's doing a gimmick and coming down in a car, like a golf buggy type. I don't know. I don't even know how you explain that. See, this is cool. Like this, that reminds me of like old school. Like if we're thinking of like things to what it like used to be. DX used to come in like painted cars and stuff, didn't they? And go down like random streets, and that used to be the whole kind of. That's really cool because that reminds me a little bit of that, like when they used to just dress up cars in like DX type stuff.
Oh, I'm having a bit of a problem here. Problemo. No problemo. Right, I think I should be all right now. Logan
so
Paul. His outfit's
always
really cringe as well. Sorry.
he's always it. Tonight it's a bit crap, but normally his ring attire is quite good. But tonight it just looks really bad.
I'm not a fan of that.
So
It's gonna be sad seeing Logan Paul beat Rey Mysterio.
oh yeah, big time.
Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio.
Yeah,
What
another
legend.
another generational talent for like this era of wrestling for sure.
Absolute legend.
Um,
Like it's crazy. I was watching some stuff about the Insane Clown Posse the other day. Like I've got a proper weird like I'm going through a phase at the minute where I'm actually loving just Insane Clown Posse, and I was watching something the other day, and I was watching a match of the Insane Clown Posse in WCW against Rey Mysterio, and it could have been like Billy Kidman, maybe something like that, someone like that. And Eddie Guerrero was actually in it as well, and I was just what's the word? Dumbfounded. I was like, what the fuck? I was just like, what the fuck? Insane Clown Posse with Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, and Billy Kidman. Like, what? What?
right.
I actually asked. I was on what's his name? Rene Dupree. Rene Dupree's podcast the other day, and I was in the chat and I super chatted. I asked him, like him and Paul London, it was, and I said any Insane Clown Posse stories, and Paul London was like bigging them up, saying like, oh, like they're good guys and all that, like they actually love wrestling, and they were saying they're gonna get them on their podcast. So I was thinking like, oh, maybe like I should reach out to them and try and get them like for a chat on this channel. So
oh yeah, absolutely.
if that happens, that would be sick.
That would be huge. While I have that comment up on screen, because I'm going to remove it in a second, I will just shout out and hope that they are able to come on in the future, because they know a heck of a lot more about wrestling than I do. Like some of the references that they like do on Gooner Gathering, they're kind of laughing to themselves. I have to register it and then go away, find out what they meant, and then act like next time like I know what it is. Because in the moment, they're like say one line, like their knowledge is unbelievable. They like say one line that a wrestler said in the 80s, and then know automatically who said that. And I'm like, I know like quite a lot about it, but my knowledge is just from like watching it and then wrestling DVDs. It doesn't go any further than that, really. So yeah, they're at Gooner Gathering on YouTube. So obviously, if you're not an Arsenal fan, it could not be for you. We do have Tottenham fans in the comments. To be fair, they do come watch. So we
I
must
bet
be
that's
doing
fun.
Right. Oh, we welcome like we say, we welcome anybody that wants to watch our stuff, like Arsenal, not Arsenal, like whatever. So yeah, I just wanted to do that before I take away the comment.
Like a Logan Paul tapping Mysterio on the head like that. Don't take that disrespect, Mysterio.
No,
you can't have that.
Like,
you can't have
but that's
that.
his whole. Oh no, you can't have that in natural terms. But that's his whole character, isn't he? Like he's built up in the WWE as like a piss taker, basically, like a
fair dues. He does his in-ring skills. I can really respect them. Like he is a good athlete.
right. Back again now. So obviously the match started. Just excuse me while I scoff with my face with a fizzy bubblegum lace. For this well-being show that I've been up today, I woke up at 5:20 this morning and couldn't for the life of me get back to sleep. So I decided to get up now that I need sugar to keep me alive. So put it back and forth. Oh, he always like, even though I've seen Rey Mysterio wrestle hundreds of times, every time he does some like acrobatic kind of move, you still go like, wow. Even though he's probably seen him do that move 100 times, he's still like in awe of how somebody can actually do that. I think that's why he's so good. Like, he does things
Yeah.
that the human body shouldn't be able to do. Like, incredible. Oh my God.
How old is
Newcastle
Mysterio now?
Newcastle just scored.
No
My
way.
Lord. I'm pleased I'm not watching it now. I've turned it off. I turned it off at half time and I'm pleased I'm not watching it. At least I'm watching the bloody wrestling. Mysterio must be 40s at the very least. Yeah, 48.
48. That's crazy.
They still look that stacked and in that good condition at 48 is incredible. Because he's not like, because a lot of that, like a lot of the muscle, like the definition that he had has kind of gone into like, because that's what happens, unfortunately, when you get that stacked, if you then leave your body for a while, the body ages like anybody's body. So it eventually kind of turns into what looks like fat, but you can see at all it's not. It's just like built muscle, basically, that's just kind of aged. That's what tends to happen.
I'm just going to find another camera, Sam. Give us a second.
No, that's all good.
I know I've got one somewhere.
Logan's kind of beaten up Rey Mysterio at this point in time.
See, I'm glad I'm not watching it right now. That's why I'm looking for my camera now. I can't see that.
I'm really surprised how good so far each one of these matches have been. Like I say, with a WWE product, I tend to kind of watch matches here and there because watching the whole of a pay-per-view.
Oh, it's a hard watch. It's a hard watch.
Most of the time, it's a hard watch because
a Raw. A Raw right now is bad. I watched Raw about 2 weeks ago. I think it was awful.
Raw and SmackDown are completely in the mud at the minute. Like 90% of the show is complete, like squash, like just filler. That tends to be the case with most of the pay-per-views that they do as well. That there'll be sort of 3 or 4 matches that will just be there to fill the card, and then there'll be sort of 1, 2, maybe 3 matches that will actually be half decent. So, like I said, I just tend to watch just like the main event sometimes, and then skip through the rest and kind of just watch the highlights when the match is finished, like that little segment of what happened in the match. But like when I watch, like I can sit down and watch NXT most weeks. Great. I can sit down and watch Dynamite, AEW Dynamite most weeks. They're like Raw basically. That's great. They even got like an AEW Collision now that's on like a Saturday that MJF and Kenny Omega fought the other night for the title. So that's on like their second show. That would be like that's not even like their SmackDown because they have Dynamite, AEW Dynamite, which is on a Wednesday. They have Collision, which is kind of a new one on Saturday. And then they have Elevation, which is like their NXT, let's say. But even then, that's quite good to watch because they get wrestlers from like the independents. Like there was a show, I'd highly recommend it to anyone. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Wrestlers. It's on, it's a Netflix documentary.
Is Hollywood? What's her name? Hollywood Haley J or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's on it, isn't she?
Yeah, and Al Snow's the guy that
OVW and that.
Yeah, I think it's called OVW.
Yes.
Al Snow's the guy that runs the promotion. It's a really interesting watch, to be fair. Really worth watching. There's also a film coming out in December, I believe. That is about. Let me get the names right. Wrestling film. So it's called.
Got a camera, boys. Give us a second.
So it's called The Iron Claw. I'm not too pleased that
I have seen about this.
I'm not too pleased that Zac Efron's the guy that's the main character. Oh, MJF's actually in it as well. That's sick.
Really?
It's
about the Von Erich family, right?
Yeah, it's about the Von Erich family. I'm really because the trailer looked amazing. I can't claim that I know a lot about the family. It will probably be the first bits that I know about this family, but I know a lot of people are going nuts about it. So I'm excited to see that. I will be not watching that at all on my completely legal streaming stick that I'm now watching the wrestling on. No, actually, to be fair, I still enjoy the whole thing of going to the cinema. I still think it's great. So if there's like a film I actually want to see, I still will go to the cinema because you cannot emulate that anywhere else other than the cinema. So again, that's something that I don't want because eventually, if we stop going to the cinema and keep watching these like films on demand, we'll lose the cinema as well, and that just can't happen. So yeah, I probably will. I don't know if it'll be in UK cinemas, to be fair, because they don't tend to pick up things like this. But hopefully it is. If it is, I shall be going to see it in the cinema. I didn't know that MJF was in it. That's sick.
That is sick.
He's actually going to be one of the He's not like a little character as well. He's actually one of the family. One of the actual family that the film's about. So that's sick.
See, this is really bad quality now. Look at the difference.
You're like fuzzy.
I don't know how to sort it either. Wait there. Let me see if I can.
Oh, that's a bit better. You've gone. You can make yourself out now.
Wait a minute. Where is it? No, that's gonna have to do, but at least it's a camera. At least it's a camera. That doesn't freeze.
So this match has been pretty I'm a bit disappointing because it's been a bit flat. I think because the benchmark at the minute, like each match has been really good. If something is a little bit less than good, it looks bad. That's the only problem when you do like every single match like really well, is that as soon as the match is kind of a mediocre, which this one is, it kind of looks really bad. It's not a bad match by any stretch of the imagination, but just not a lot's really happened. It's just been kind of like a grappling slash.
Larry. Oh.
That was a move, to be fair, from Logan. Jumped over the top rope and kind of like clotheslined him as he was like midair.
Buck,
That was
it's
pretty
like a buckshot
sick.
lariat, isn't it?
Yeah, he kind of did a somersault and then into a clothesline. Like, that was pretty sick. That takes some doing. I certainly couldn't. I can't do one roly poly. Let alone do that.
You know what, Sam? I've been thinking about. There's somewhere close to me. It's quite. I'm just trying to figure out how to get there, and it's like It's a wrestling school actually. So I'm
Really?
thinking about actually getting into it myself and like maybe
Why not?
documenting my journey along the way on the
Yeah,
channel.
definitely. That's something I'd be like down to see the progress of as well. Like, I certainly know I'm an absolute wimp, so I certainly can like. As soon as I get, I know because I've seen like how hard it is to land on that like mat. Any
Yeah,
wrestler, there's nothing to it. It's literally rock solid. So I know as soon as I get slammed once, I'm running off like a girl.
it's the chops I'm thinking about. My poor chest, my poor chest.
Yeah, I suppose it gets easier the more you do it. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's not something for me. I'm a complete
The only thing that puts me off it is for my age as well. Like I'm 24, right, boys? I'm 24. I'm getting on. My
God.
knees and my my shins are quite bad, and my ankles. Like I don't know, they just seem to like not be very stable. If you get me.
You that makes me feel really old. I've got like 4 years on you. Jeez.
4 years. That's not. Hey, that's not too bad.
Yeah, but it's closer to
I'm still
30 than
young.
you are. It's closer to 30 than you are. It's dangerous. I'm getting to like the dangerous territory,
If it
27.
makes you feel any better, I'm 25 in March, so it's not too long.
Yeah, you still got 5 years. I've only got a couple. Literally
Yeah,
nothing's
hopefully.
on at all. That was the best thing that was happened to this match was that somersault over the top rope and the clothesline. And that's embarrassing. That's the best moment in this match, to be fair.
Ray's up top here, though. Ray's up top. He's going. What's he doing here? Oh, nothing, because Logan jumps right back up there, and he's looking for. Oh, that was nice.
Trust me
That
to
was
miss the.
nice.
Oh,
Fair
wow.
play. That was nice. Fair
I don't think
play.
that finishes it. I was going to say that's not finishing it, but that was pretty impressive.
Logan really does impress me, like
Oh,
his
yeah.
in-ring skills. But
He's in
like, I don't
ring.
like him. I'll
Yeah,
never like him as a
no, fair
person.
enough. Like, he's a very divisive person. Like, I'd probably say a bigger percentage of people dislike him, to be fair, than like him.
You just don't, you just don't take to some people, and that's one of them people for me. I just don't take to him.
See, I used to absolutely hate him for what he did in that video, but since then, I've started to like him a little bit. I wouldn't say I'm completely because, like I say, I watch his podcast and like it because of Mike, and his story and his kind of like book and what he does. He just, I can see why people dislike him. I think that's. Yeah, honestly, people like wrestlers because I think it was Rey Mysterio actually came on Logan Paul's podcast. I think it was last year because it was mainly a weekend. Obviously, Logan was in America and he had all the wrestlers there as well. So I think he had Rey Mysterio on an episode, and I think he had Edge. Oh no, was it Edge or Triple H? It was one of the two.
Both.
I think it was Rey Mysterio.
I think they've had both.
Oh, we have another comment.
Rob Cluley. I like wrestling. What? I like the wrestling as you can like the characters, but sometimes the person is just not easy to like. Do you know what, Rob? That's exactly what I was trying to say. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
Big up to Rob. Thank you for tuning in.
Oh, near fall there.
I've gone behind you again now. Shocking.
Have you?
Yep.
On your perfectly legal stream.
It's, yeah. See, the thing is, it's perfectly legal. I don't pay a yearly fee at all. Oh, there's someone kind of. I think that's somebody to do with Logan's just passed him something.
Brass knuckles.
Oh, is it?
Knuckle dusters.
But to be fair, it kind of pays for someone to be. Oh, yeah, it is. So it
Who
kind
the
of
fuck is
pays.
that?
I don't actually know who that is.
Who the
I
fuck
think
is that?
it must be one of his pals. I think. Oh, who's this? Oh, what's his name? Oh, I can't think of his name now.
Escobar. Something Escobar.
Yeah, that's it.
But no, Pablo Escobar.
Not Pablo Escobar, no. Very, very different individual.
619's coming here.
I just saw that's what I can quote.
Oh no.
There's a oh wow. That was a terrible, terrible play by Logan there. Like
yeah,
he
innit? I thought he was gonna get out of it because of it.
It looks like he is now. Oh no, he isn't. That was terrible play by that was terrible at like in-ring stuff from Logan Paul there. Oh, he's actually countered it.
Yeah, Logan's won.
Oh,
Logan's won it. Yeah.
Oh, has he hit him with brass knuckles? Did he hit?
Yeah.
Did he hit him with the brass knuckles or not?
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Logan Paul, US champion. What happened to that championship? That used to be a well-credited championship.
Oh yeah, and then it just
until
became
now.
like there's a moment. That title is probably like the coolest looking title they have as well.
The kitty wants to go out. What?
Right. So I'm pulling it back. Oh no, I'm not. You put Logan as well, so I'm not pulling it back at all. It's just furthered your.
Yeah, I knew Logan was going to win this, but
so we have
didn't want it to happen.
1, 2. So we've got 3 matches left. Oh no, we haven't. We've got 1. Yeah, we've got 3 matches left. Your 4 predictions to my 2. So there is still time, but I've now got to win. So I've now got to get every single one right. Oh, but it's interesting because now we're left down to the 3 matches. So we're left down to Io Sky, the Cody Rhodes, and the main event. And apart from one of them, we've got. So we picked Cody Rhodes in one of them. Actually, I'm going to change it to make it interesting. Because in a minute you're winning 4-2, and we've got 3 matches left. We've picked in 2 of them, we've picked different, and then in one of them we've picked the same. So I am going to make it interesting and make it actually still that it's still like ahead by the end of it. Cody Rhodes is fighting. I think it was. Let's have a look. Cody Rhodes is fighting. I think it was Damian Priest. So I'm going to put Damian Priest for that one, and then this predictions competition will actually.
Hold on, Sam. I'm just going to let the cat out. He's crying.
The cat wants into the live stream. It doesn't want to go out at all.
He's crying. What? Bless his little cotton socks.
He wanted to watch wrestling. That was why. I couldn't see it.
He was like, I don't want to see this shit anymore.
Newcastle.
Who's next?
I've not actually got that.
Is it?
They're doing the next pay-per. Oh no, one of the pay-per-views next year is actually in Australia, and it's Elimination Chamber. See, that's one of my favourite match types, Elimination Chamber.
Elimination Chamber and me, to be fair, it's sick. It's sick. I remember the first ever one.
Yeah, there's one really standout one for me, and it's when Lesnar was like back when he wasn't like the person he is now in WWE, where he fights. Like when he was first coming through, he came in and like mauled everybody else, like literally single-handedly. I can't remember what year it was, but there's, like I say, Elimination Chamber. There's a DVD collection of all the best ones, and I remember going around to my friend's house, and he said, "Oh, watch this chamber match." Like, and Brock Lesnar just literally, because I think it's how many is there? It's like either 5 or 6, isn't there? Trying to work out how many cages around, like how many boxes around the side. So there's even I think there's 5 or 6 people, and he literally mauls every single one of them. It's great to watch. Newcastle survive a lengthy VAR check as Anthony Gordon gives host contentious 1-0 lead. Oh god, more drama.
Oh, who's this now? Bianca Belair. Oh, I don't care about this. I'm gonna go make a cuppa.
Go on. I'll
Wait, who's she fighting? Who's she against?
Bianca Belair and Io Sky. Io Sky is the champ. Bianca Belair was the champ before.
All right, I'm gonna go make a cuppa, and
it's
hopefully
probably a good point to do it before the main event comes up. To be fair,
yeah, definitely.
So I'll probably give my voice a bit of a rest in this one. To save it for the main event. Because yeah. Bianca Belair again, this example of when she was coming through, she was amazing. But then the whole gimmick, they've just ruined her in the main roster. And I hate to see it because, like I say, I'm a big fan of NXT. So, so yeah. So, going back to where we're at. So, entrances at the moment. Io Sky, obviously the champ. As I put myself through. Put myself through the last 5 minutes of the football as well. Don't ask me why. But it looks like we're going to lose. Arsenal, that being. So, yeah. Not a fantastic situation, to be honest. So I think we're this match, Cody Rhodes, and then main event. So majority of the pay-per-view is done. And on that note, I don't want to watch football anymore. I turned the football on for 2 minutes and then turned it straight back off again.
God damn. What's happened to the old camera here now? God damn. New.
I've just heard from profanity from downstairs watching the football. So Newcastle have either scored again.
No way.
Let's have a look. Oh no, we must have just missed something. I'm going to watch the goal back actually, just because this match is started really dull. So we're going to watch the goal back. That we mentioned that wrestlers used to be just a thing for men to look at. But Bianca Belair get up is screaming Divas vibe of the last sort of my generation. I'm not complaining, but there you go.
Remember, like, bra and panties matches?
Oh yeah, they were the best. Without sounding like a perv, they were the best. The not young child. I wasn't that young, but like the primary school / secondary school child used to love those type of matches.
For sure. Like when you're on
used to be like,
SmackDown versus Raw 2006, and you wouldn't stop playing that match type. That would be the only match type you'd
oh my
play.
god!
Oh,
So so I'm just checking the Arsenal goal, right? I know it's completely. So the VAR looked at before Newcastle scored if the ball went out of play, and it looks as though the ball's gone completely out of play, and they've given it as a goal.
oh my god!
Wow. Obviously, it's hard to tell from like the first camera angle you see, and obviously only a tiny bit's got to be on the line and like things like that. But first reaction, it looks as though hang about that's gone over the line. Oh, I'm gonna rage now. Get ready to see the rage mode. Wow.
I have no luck. Zero luck. Honestly,
I'm trying to compose myself. It's one of those ones that, yeah, I won't go into football because it just gets me angry. Back to wrestling. Pretty much where I last left it. Nothing happened. Been a few submissions. Yeah. I think out of the whole of the card, this was the match that I was least excited for. So yeah, it's just kind of a squash match here for me, just to kind of fill a gap between kind of the start of the pay-per-view and the main event. Certainly the poorest match so far, and by a country mile. Hopefully it gets better, but we shall see. So we're just we just had about 10 different submissions from both wrestlers. Submission in the middle of the ring. Looks like the start of something that's not wrestling at the moment. It's the start. Looks like the start of a movie, let's say, of the non-cinematic kind.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
StreamYard with a comment there.
Oh, cheers, StreamYard. I appreciate that.
Live viewers' comments show up on StreamYard. This is an example. Look. So yeah, it's just completely. I'm bored out of my mind here. I'm just talking to fill the gap. That is
Yeah, no,
this
it's awful. It is awful.
rubbish match.
I'm glad I've got the camera to sort out because otherwise I would be not enjoying myself even more.
I think these sweets have got me through this so far. I just hope it's finished soon. Because realistically, we've got. I think this is going to be a match for the long haul because it says on the network that this is finished at 9. So it is what? 7:30. Main events don't typically last for an hour. They only last for like half an hour, 45 minutes at a push. So we've got at least another 10 minutes of this because we've got to fit in one match before the main event. But obviously you've got the big promo and stuff.
Yeah. Of course you do.
So yeah, hopefully it's just done pretty soon because I'm really struggling to fill space with this match because just nothing's going on. Yeah, so I think this would be a good time if anyone's watching, for you to kind of give everyone a taste of what's to come, what you've got, what you're working on, what's the channel looking like, anything like that, really.
Well, I've got some stuff planned for the channel, like obviously some of the videos we've been making, some videos like that. I think there's a lot of more live streams to come like this. Wouldn't you say so?
Absolutely. I've really enjoyed it today.
Obviously, this is just a little test run, the first of many. So
yeah, like I say, I'm sure I can get. I've got a few people that are like big on the wrestling. I'm sure they can get. I'm sure I can get them involved as well. It adds something to it.
Yeah, no, it'd be nice to get guests on, and like, I think it would be sick to sort of try and get some talent, to chat to, and like sort of get an insight into their careers and stuff. I think that could be
you can so much you can go live on here. You can pre-record a video on here that you can then upload later to YouTube. So that's definitely something to look into for sure. Because I'm pretty sure like up and coming wrestlers that are like on the indie promotions or just starting up, or like for example, a good idea would be like if you do go to that wrestling school, any of those that have been doing it for like longer, because obviously you'll be stepping in, having like learning it, whereas others might have been in that school for years. They'll probably want to jump on and say what they're been like and stuff. That could definitely be because it definitely intrigued me as well. So yeah, I'd definitely say there's more of these because I've probably thoroughly enjoyed this. It makes you actually watch the wrestling. I can't then go and skip it, like you physically have to. So you see like the little bits that you wouldn't normally see. So yeah, I'm definitely up for more of these. I know that I'm gonna I've started working on the script for the Will Ospreay kind of career overview, because he's literally the best thing. I guess he doesn't get the credit because he's never been. I know he gets the credit because people know who he is. Like he's fought in New Japan. He won the New Japan Championship this year. He's fought Jericho on that AEW card in London. So he's worldwide known, but because he's never wrestled in WWE, I think the thing is, even if you can wrestle till the end of your days on any other promotion, but if you've never wrestled on WWE, for some reason you're not that known. It's bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, it is crazy.
Like Will Ospreay's won pretty much every single title possible, other than being in WWE. but yet obviously everybody knows about him, but he's not obviously huge like these guys are. But
Do you know
if you
what?
put
Sorry, go on, carry on.
go on. No, go on.
Well, you brought up Chris Jericho there, and I was just thinking, like, I just sort of like went into a little like thought of my own, like, fair play to Chris Jericho, like how long he's been doing it. Like, how old's he
Oh,
now?
Amazing.
He's got to be like what?
Yeah, I would say he would be older than Rey Mysterio, I think.
Yeah,
For sure.
I reckon he's early 50s, right? Like,
I think he is,
50.
to be fair. Let me just check.
Oh, Bailey's here. Little interference.
52. That is incredible.
52. Fair fucking play, because it was not long ago. Like, he had like a death match sort of thing, like a barbed wire death match.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck?
That's the really cool thing on because AEW did their own like wrestling game this year, and they've got a barbed wire, so a flaming barbed wire death match on the game. It's so
What the
cool.
fuck?
The game
Looks crazy.
The game is crazy, but when you put it up to because obviously I've got both 2K and AEW Fight Forever. They couldn't be like polar opposite. Like WWE is like prim and proper
Simulation
like
wrestling game.
Like,
yeah,
it literally could be. It's near enough you're watching wrestling. Whereas the AEW one, I love it because it's like arcadey. It's like not at all. They've got like I haven't yet tried it because I've just got it, and they have like so they do the Stadium Stampede match in AEW.
Yeah, that's what I've seen a clip of.
And you can go online and like there's 30 people in this Stadium Stampede, and it's like a Warzone type thing where the last person alive, like, and it just looks so sick. I can't wait to try it.
Did you ever play the did you ever have a PS2? I'm guessing you did. Obviously, that's a silly question. Well,
no,
there's
nothing that ever touched.
Oh,
ever.
Facts, bang on. But what was I going to say? There's a game, Backyard Wrestling. Backyard Wrestling.
I know which one you mean. I didn't play it, but I can picture the cover now.
Yeah, well, that game, it's kind of like that, like, but obviously more modern and better mechanics and stuff. Like, it reminds me of that anyway.
It does technically feel a little bit broken from what I've played so far. So, like, for example, like 2K23, like, there's like a reversal, like you can reverse and you can do finishes. Whereas on AEW Fight Forever so far, there's no way that you can, like, it doesn't come up and say you can reverse this move now. Like, you have to kind of guess. You kind of have to guess that you're going to reverse it. So that's what, like, something I'm going to have to get my head around. But I just think it is what it is. Like, you see all these simulation games like FIFA and NBA and 2K23, and they're just not as fun as they were anymore because they're like, they've got to be so precise. Everything's got to be amazing. It's just unfortunate.
I've heard as well. I can't say myself, but like back in the day, I remember they had the what was it, general manager mode or no? What was it?
There is sort of something like it now where you can, like, on 2K23, you can like make so you take over one of the brands and you've got to like plan the card. You've got like a budget and you've got to plan it.
It was like that, but it's more in depth. Like back in the day, like it was more in depth back then.
I remember
now it's not
hours and hours and hours playing like the story mode where you'd be able to go backstage and you'd be able to control everything about it.
Yeah, run up to someone and be like you could like actually talk to them.
Yeah, it used to be so fun. But that's what you lose in like games being so prim and proper is that everything has to be to the book. Like the reason why that all these wrestling games, all these different games are so fun is because that anybody could pick up and play them, and it was just you'd have a good time playing it. Now you have to be so good at every single game you buy. Like you have to like play it all the time. You have to. I'm going to play it 24/7. I'm going to have to sweat my life, blood and tears just to like get into a level that somebody else will be at. So it's actually kind of, when I think about it, taking the fun out of it all a little bit, even though it's still fun to do. Like, I'm not going to debate. I probably spend too much time playing like video games and stuff, but it's just not the, when you think back, it's just not the same as it once was.
This has been a long ass match.
Oh yeah, it's always the case when you're really not enjoying a match, it goes on for the longest. All the other matches like flown by, even like the Rey Mysterio and Logan Paul one that wasn't great, but it still kind of flew by.
The Cena and Solo Sikoa one. That dragged a bit, but like
it dragged a bit, but it still went quite quick. This is just painfully dragging.
Yeah, I would have preferred that one to go longer than this one for sure.
That much saying. When we've been speaking about wrestling games, I haven't even been watching this match, and I've not missed a single thing at all. Oh, is it done? It's done. EO with an interference. EO with an interference retains. So, I'm pulling it back.
You're pulling it back. What? Yeah. What's the score? What's the score now?
It's 4-3 now with two to go. So if I'm to get both of these predictions correct, then I'm going to take the title. And we'll get.
Who's after this?
There's one more. So there's Cody Rhodes and Damian Priest.
Right. All right.
You've got Cody. I've got Damian Priest. Just to mix things up, I changed my prediction so we could still keep going. And then obviously the main event, you've gone LA Knight, I've gone Roman Reigns. So
yeah,
I think we could keep this like, I don't know who this is, because I don't watch the weekly product like SmackDown and Raw. When these like interferences happen, I've got no idea who they are really, apart from if they're like a big name. I've got no idea who this is. That's if anyone's watching, it is completely professional here on this channel. But
I don't know, but she's nice to look at.
Yeah. To be fair, I'll give you that one. It doesn't look real though. It looks very kind of robotic and not like a real person at the same time.
Bailey, I'm not a fan of. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of her.
No,
that girl though, that interference girl, yes. I'm a big fan. I like her.
So there's some there's some incredibly good looking people on NXT. I'm going to get the names. I think Arsenal have lost, to be fair, because my phone's just gone into meltdown from all my mates and all the group chats I'm in.
Yeah, you're just getting pounded with messages.
Yeah.
Saying,
so I've got like no, it's not even people taking the mic. It's generally just the group chats and all the like the YouTube channels and stuff I'm involved with, like raging now. But I'm pleased I ain't watched it because I'm not even that bothered. Obviously, I'm bothered that we've lost, but I haven't watched it, so I haven't been able to get like. I think that's got to be one of the the Judgment Day have to be like one of the best factions that we've had since like when Nexus came onto the scene. I don't know if you're still watching it then.
Yeah. Well, I just got out of it like when Nexus were in it. Like I was still like just then I fell out of it, and then I sort of got it back into it when the Shield first debuted, like around that time. I was sort of like watching it again, and then I fell out of it and didn't watch it for years. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yes. So there's sort of I completely forgot about the Shield. It's good you said that because I just made a massive mistake by saying there's only Nexus and Judgment Day. But yeah, I completely forgot about the Shield.
Yeah, the Shield I think is still like if you look at what they've all done solo on their own as well, it's like actually pretty incredible. Like
so like the reason why factions even work is because each of them are incredible wrestlers, which you have in the Shield, which you have in Judgment Day, or the story of it's amazing. So like when Nexus first came in, it was like completely alien. There was like these 6 or 7, I think, people that were just like popping up every week, causing carnage. and then we didn't really know who they were for ages, and then they were able to build that story. But yeah, so the whole Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa with Paul Heyman, that storyline and the Judgment Day storyline have probably kept WWE afloat for a heck of a long time, because they've been managed to carry on both of those stories for years.
Yeah.
So had it not have been for them, I think they would have been in the mud in terms of storylines, because their storytelling has got dramatically worse over the years. Like AEW stories and feuds and stuff like that are so much better like nowadays, because WWE haven't
Well,
adapted.
do you know what I think
Some of
separates
them.
AEW for me? Like, what caught my attention personally, like as
Mhm.
someone who fell out of WWE and wrestling altogether and came back
Mhm.
to AEW when Edge returned.
Mhm.
Like, I just find that it's more ruthless. Like, you get
Yeah.
Christian saying these dead dad jokes and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I like. I like that
Yeah.
edginess, and they've got
Yeah.
that. Do you know what I mean? Their
Because
wrestling's not the safest. Their wrestling isn't the safest, but
no, but that's the reason why it's so good. Like when I went to see
yeah,
the show in London, I watched it back, and you know, like those like cocktail sticks, but they were long cocktail sticks. Can't remember what you called them. And I think it was the Stadium Stampede match. And at one point, I can't remember who it was. Can't remember who it was for the life of me. But at the one point, these like long cocktail sticks, I don't know what the name of them is, so excuse me on that, were jabbed into somebody's head. He then so you could see it was like proper genuine, because there was like a clump of them stuck in his head. A few of them kind of fell out, and then the rest were kind of like lodged into his head. It was just amazing. Like as a wrestling fan, you go to an event for like some madness like that. So like obviously the Attitude Era was amazing, but for me, like there's nothing like we've spoke about before. There's nothing like that ECW area of wrestling where there was like bring your own weapons into the arena. There was once that they
remember New Jack and like Raven, they used to come in
yeah,
with like shopping carts of fucking weapons.
like different stuff. They were taking, it was that badass that they used to just take stuff from that people bought in the crowd.
Yeah. I remember they incorporated that into the SmackDown versus Raw games, didn't they? Where you just grab it like a crutch or something off the crowd.
It was so good. So that edginess and that kind of,
That's what makes it fun. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that is what makes it fun.
I don't think, because obviously WWE haven't been able to do it for a long time. They've kind of got a little bit more edgy where they can. They've kind of
I have
seen a little bit.
I've seen a fair few things where they have sort of dabbled into the edginess, but it just doesn't go as far as AEW does, and that's what I can respect about them. They don't care really. Like they'll go dead dad jokes. Like that's fucking crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like these days, people will outrage about it, and it's like, what? It's not actually crazy. It's just if you look at what it is, it's a show. It's entertainment, and that's entertaining. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, anyway. Like
half the stuff when you break it down that WWE do isn't fun to watch. It's just kind of filler, sort of.
Everything. Like I can't even grasp. Like I've watched a couple of shows like in the last couple of weeks, and I just can't grasp what's going on. Like I don't get anything. All I know is I like LA Knight. Like that's all I know.
The storylines between wrestlers, unless it's like big, like your LA Knights and your Roman Reigns, those stories are good. But what they don't focus on is the rest of the card. Like AEW, you watch that one pay-per-view. I think it was Wrestle Dream you watched, wasn't it?
Oh, it was good. That was Wrestle Dream was good.
They put massive focus on every single match they do. Like they make sure that every single match ends up being as good as it possibly can. Whereas WWE are quite happy to just run off the main event.
Well, I think they know they're going to draw numbers anyway. They're the WWE. They're content with who they are. Like
the problem is they've been on their own in kind of competition for that long, they haven't had to adapt. They can just stay in that same lane, not really do a massive deal, but they know because of the product that they've built that they're going to get people to watch it.
This theme song is fucking goated. Sorry.
It is, isn't it? If it's
yeah,
absolutely if it's absolutely crap, they know that someone's still tuning in. Whereas AEW and all these other promotions, they know that if their product is crap, people will just go over to WWE. So they have to put on a show, which is what they do. And I don't think that, I think unfortunately WWE's got to a stage where it's that big that nobody can be in competition with them ever, because nobody's got the money that they make. AEW is getting incredibly close, and it's probably the closest competition that WWE have had since like WCW, but it's still nowhere near in terms of how much money it makes. Yes, I enjoy it much more, but in terms of like draw and numbers and money, WWE is always going to be on top. I don't think that's going to change. I'm just pleased that I found AEW and AEW came to mainstream so we can have an alternative if you want to. If you're happy with WWE, I know lots of people are. If you're happy with watching this all the time, then fair enough. We each like our stuff. But for me,
look at that. The Wrestle Dawgs. Sorry, I'm just messing about with the old
that's really
majig.
That's really good, to be fair.
Wrestle. We just need to sort. I'll make a new one for it. I'll make an actual background for us.
Because what we can do, because what I was going to suggest is, now that we've got this predictions thing obviously starting, when we do the next pay-per-view or whatever, we'll like keep a tally of like overall, and then we can have it at the bottom, because obviously I showed you about the clickers at the bottom, and the banners that come and go across the bottom. We can have like the running score then, and obviously if we've got like a guest on, they can have like, are they going to beat the hosts? Like, that could be another angle, as if I'm like a wrestling booker. That could be another angle. I'm deep into my commentary of wrestling that I'm even like transferring it into real life now.
Fucking hell, Cody Rhodes slamming the mat like he's gonna hit an RKO or something.
This is like it's the levels that this is above the last match is unbelievable. Like in 5 minutes of this match, it's just eclipsed the whole of the title match before it in like 5 minutes, hasn't it? Because this is like hard hitting.
When's Randy Orton coming back? Is there any word on that?
I've got no idea, to be fair. Like I say, my knowledge of the product, apart from
Damian Priest taking over right now, though, on Cody Rhodes.
One of my friends he must be watching, because he is he's put John Moxley, and there were skewers. So like, do you know, like skewers that you put like meat on? It was those that were stuck into the head. If you watch,
no surprise, it was John Moxley.
Yeah, that's it. It was John Moxley, yeah, because it was that Stadium Stampede match. And it's really cool because so the middle of Wembley Arena was where the ring was. So you had like seating to the left of it, seating to the back of it where the ramp was, and then seating to the to either side. And John Moxley, and I can't remember who he was with now. I think it was John Moxley, Cesaro, as I call him, but obviously that's his WWE name. He's called something completely in.
What's he called now? I know. I was watching him and I was like, "Oh my god, it's Cesaro."
Yeah.
What's his name?
It's funny because at the so obviously they have to change names sometimes. Sometimes they don't have to change names. I don't really know how it works.
I think it's if it's somebody like by the
behind
WWE.
me was like, "Oh my god!" Yeah. So they was like, "Oh my god!" Somebody is gonna be coming to AEW because he's a free agent. And I was like, who's that? Because it was a completely like different name change to what it is on it was on WWE as a product. And they were like, oh, it's such and such from WWE. And I felt like a little bit silly because I was like, I should have known that, but you can't keep up with the names that they're given. Like if a wrestler moves from any promotion to another promotion, they're always going to be known as what I first saw them as. Like Edge is always going to be Edge. I don't care if he's different.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, fuck. Did you see? It was after his return, I think, or it could have been after Wrestle Dream, and MJF was having like it was in the press conference, and he was next to Tony Khan, and he said Edge on accident, and he was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" Tony Khan was, and he was like, "Oh, sorry, that was crazy."
So Jordan, one of my friends is watching. It's Claudio Castagnoli now on AEW.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
That's it.
I was watching a match of his. He was against. Who was he against? I think it was an ex-MMA fighter or something. I forgot who it was though. But John Moxley was on commentary, and John Moxley was sick on commentary. It was funny actually. He was just
he's so good on commentary.
Swearing. It was funny. Wow. I rated it. I liked it. I do like Moxley though. I think he's just a crazy cunt, and I like that.
It's class. Just gonna shout out Jordan, who's actually sent me all those. It's actually made me look really intelligent because I've been able to tell you like the indie name of Cesaro, and I've been able to tell you John Moxley that had the screws in the head. It was all my doing. It was all my doing. It wasn't Jordan at all. But shout out to Jordan for tuning in.
Yeah, shout out to Jordan. Cheers for that, Jordan. He might have to be our Jamie of Joe Rogan. You know, like pull that up, Jordan.
Yeah. That's class. So yeah, I don't know what I was going to say now, but yeah, he's a big wrestling fan as well. Like me and him. I remember once we were at because he owns a label as well, like music brand. What am I on about? Called Lost Woods, and we were at Ministry, and I remember we was all sat around drinking, like obviously before we go into Ministry, and there was like everybody else was talking about the DJs that were playing, and there was me and him in the corner just discussing a wrestling pay-per-view that had been on, like, just, like as the two outcasts in the corner, like speaking about wrestling. I think it was an AEW pay-per-view or like one coming up or something. And it was on at the same time because obviously when you're at Ministry, it's like the times that these like things stream, like in America. And I remember I had up on my phone and I was like, oh my God, such and such has won. And somebody came along and was like, you sad bastards. Like, we was like, we don't care. Like, this is what we like. Like, you can call us sad all we like. We've had that all our lives for like in wrestling, so it's no different.
Yeah, they don't understand. Like, if they haven't lived through it, they don't understand. You didn't own like wrestling figures when you were a kid and watch wrestling, you don't understand.
We just missed a complete madness. There was 2 interferences. So JD McDonough. Oh, I thought my prediction was going to be correct. So Finn Balor obviously comes down to help Damian Priest.
Oh shit! Oh,
but then
big dig from Cody. Who did he just punch then?
Are you behind?
Oh shit!
I've got Finn Balor.
Yeah, I've just seen a choke. I've just seen a choke slam from Damian Priest.
Oh yeah, you're a little bit behind. But that's probably good at this point because I do like that. Do you know the Judgment Day T-shirt that? Well, you'll see it in a second. That Dom's coming down in. I haven't even seen it. Oh,
where's Dom?
Jesus, Dom's got. There was some. There was Dom showing off his money because he had his Monday night. I don't know what it says on his T-shirt, but then he was wearing an off-white jacket, so he was like showing off that he'd got loads of money.
Big super kick.
So, Cody is reversed. Oh, this match has gone mad now.
Oh, woo!
Whoa! Cody's got it now. Cody's got it
Yeah.
now. It was like that little bit. That was intelligent though, because for a little second, this is what WWE were really good at. For a little second, you thought that Damian Priest was going to win.
Roll up.
Oh, he's
Oh, he's
not.
kicked out.
See, if you
Oh,
see, you've got. So I changed from Cody Rhodes to Damian Priest to make this interesting. But if you're correct in predicting that Cody Rhodes wins this, then there's no chance of me coming back. So you've actually officially won it today. If Cody Rhodes wins this match,
1, 2, ooh, baby.
so it'll
See
be
Cody
1-0
then.
to
He
you.
was like, crowd's going
okay.
wild for Cody.
So Jordan's just sent me a message. It's interesting, this actually. Jordan said he'll be up for joining in the future, which is good. My views, he said, my views would be controversial. I think we've pushed past the barrier of being controversial because we've both said profanities. So, and we've also spoke about how divas used to be treated in WWE. So I think we've gone over the controversial.
Listen, I'm a controversial guy. I'm that sort of guy. So bring it to the table. I like that.
Yeah, because I think obviously at this smaller
Cody
stage
Cutter.
you're able to do that. Like when you get to the heights of Cultaholic, obviously they can't be controversial. But when you've got just Jordan tuning in at the minute of this live stream, people aren't going to go back and watch.
The thing is with me, I'm a real guy. Like I'm not like that sort of guy that would like stop doing that because like people don't like it. I don't care. Like to be honest, like I'm just a real person. Like I'll just be as real as possible, and I like that. Like that's why I like these like podcasts like Rene Dupree's, because he doesn't care. Like he'll call someone out if he doesn't like them or whatever. I respect that, and I like them sort of podcasts. You know what I mean?
See, I with the other channels that I do, like the Arsenal ones and stuff, we do tend to like kind of not find alternatives. I've had to kind of find alternatives to swear in, so I've had to kind of say like fudge or like whatever. But that's because they want to make sure that everyone can watch it. If you don't like wrestling, you're not going to tune into a wrestling channel. So it's quite simple as that. You know what? In the midst of all that, I've just missed that Cody's actually won. So
see, I haven't seen that yet. So
you've actually won the first lot of predictions.
I didn't expect
it. But I will say that this has come controversially, and I'll have to put it to a VAR, because last minute I did change my Cody Rhodes predictions to Damian Priest to make it the content. So I've sacrificed the win for the content. So I'll give you that one. It's 1-0 to you, but I'll be coming back with a vengeance.
I'm just glad I get to hear his song again.
an old wrestling pay-per-view. That used to be such a sick pay-per-view. That was one of the first DVDs I got, to be fair. Vengeance 2006. Wow. And I'm pretty sure, I don't think I still have it. But Vengeance 2006, I'm pretty sure DX are in the main event. Could be wrong. I don't think I've got it still. But there's another note for me. So I need to get the Edge DVD back, and I need to get Vengeance 06 back. Right, so back to what Jordan said. He asked the question as a discussion point: does Cody Rhodes finish the story against Roman Reigns at the WrestleMania coming? It's funny you should say that, because we were actually talking about this right at the start of the stream. I said the best opportunity that they had to finish this Roman Reigns story in the best possible way was when Cody returned, for him to take the title back. So I think that's the only way I can think of, anyway, that both of those, like that it finishes in a good way, because I just don't think it Yeah, I don't think because of how long. Yeah, Jordan obviously must be in front of me as well because he's just put War Games. Yeah, we'll have to because obviously I'm not going to stay up till 1 o'clock in the crack of dawn to watch these pay-per-views because they're just not worth it. But what we'll do with that one, if you want to, what we can do anyway, it'll make it more interesting. So if we can't stay up for the actual event, we could still do it the next day and watch the pay-per-view from like start to finish and commentate as if it was live. I still think there's a space to do that because most
or do it on the Patreon. Do it as a Patreon only thing.
Oh yeah, could do that. But I do want to. Now Jordan's put it. I'm going to put it to him that for one occasion we'll do it, and I'll see if Jordan wants to come on and we'll rewatch War Games the day after it's done because I'd like to see that pay-per-view because they're just so mayhem.
Because that's what I was planning for the Patreon. Like with the Patreon, I want to do sort of like once we build some like members up, I want to.
Have you had anyone join yet?
No, not yet. No.
Okay.
But when we do,
it'll come. It'll come before you know it. It'll be Patreon.
All in good time.
Yeah. Before you know it, we'll have like what the Sidemen do, where they charge a monthly and they do like exclusive content. Before you know, like millions of people will come in. I didn't think that many wrestling fans existed as they did when I went to CAW in London at Wembley when they said
so many
80,000. Well, disputed 80,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say then
because I think the actual.
Sorry, was that who was it who got the tattoo?
Will Ospreay.
Was it Ospreay? Yeah, I thought it was. I didn't want to say
Ospreay got the tattoo. It said 80,000. The date of so he had the date of the event, 80,000, and then his match against Jericho. And he said the next day, I remember watching the story, and he was like, "My mum hates tattoos. My whole family hate tattoos, and I've gone and got a tattoo, and now I've got it wrong." And he's just stood there giggling to himself because apparently 72,000 is the number that were bums on seat, but the 80,000 number was from the tickets they sold. So 72,000 were people, or 72,000 and then 100 and something. I don't know the exact number, but that was actually bums on seats. And 81,000, I think it was, are actually the tickets they sold. So a lot of those people didn't turn up. But yeah, I didn't even know that many wrestling fans existed, to be fair. So I was shocked. I went into that like stadium and I looked around and I went, my God. I thought I was in like a minority of 10 people that like wrestling in this country, not like 70,000. It was just nuts. Oh, shit.
If you don't like wrestling, I got 2 words for you.
We did that. So it was funny you say that. Me and Jordan was at the Lenham gig the other day, and the support act said, "Oh, I want you to sing along with me for this next bit, and in the chorus, I want you to say suck it." So me and Jordan were there doing like DX. Me and Jordan were there doing DX. Nobody had a clue what we were doing, but we were just okay. So good.
So I've been chilling in Discord with these lads, and every time I'm in there, like I always just like when it's quiet, I'll just go yeah, and they're all like just like what the fuck are you doing? Like, none of them are wrestling fans. Like they don't get it. They got no context. I just go yeah.
So they just think you've got like this twitch where you just keep
yeah.
That.
They think I've got Tourette's, and one of my tics is yeah.
That's great. Jesus, his promo has gone on for ages. I told you it was going to be a long promo.
Yeah, you did.
They always do it for the main event. They take up like good 15 minutes of just promo work. Because obviously they've like spent weeks building it, like building.
Oh yes, no, Jordan, thank you for the sub. I appreciate you.
Wait,
appreciate it.
I was gonna say, why is he sending me messages rather than commenting? But yeah, like I say, I've just messaged Jordan. But If we sort it out where we watch the War Games pay-per-view whenever it is, it will be the next one, I think, because that's why they're plugging it. But the day after or whatever, we'll sort it so we can watch it, and then you just hop on with us. It'll be fun. Oh, that would be so sick.
Yeah.
It's such a shame that this is the only thing that bugs me. With it being no disrespect, because they've a lot of people who come out and watch this in Saudi Arabia, but if this had been in like a US crowd where they absolutely adore LA Knight, the atmosphere would have been absolutely unreal. It's probably good. It's probably good there, don't get me wrong, because they, from what I've seen before from the Crown Jewel, that was last year, I think they've done 2.
Look at all them years. There's so many years.
They
yeah.
You're just gonna randomly keep doing that for the older match. I'm
gonna have to.
But yeah, you can see the like proper passionate fans, which I love. But if this,
I'm not gonna lie though. Sorry, but his
on.
theme song needs to change. Is it just me who thinks that?
Yeah,
I hate it. Keep the keep that, but don't keep the. I'm not a fan. You need a proper tune, like you need a tune.
It's a shame. I'll bring this up. So
yeah, I agree.
I'll bring
Jordan.
this up to read it. I think I've just brought it up. Hang on. I just brought it up and then put it down again. So we'll try again.
Sorry.
It's a shame that we know LA Knight will get screwed out of this, but the ride was fun. I see it at least. Yeah, I think you're right. I think they'll like I was saying before, they do such a good job, like they did in the last match with Damian Priest. They make such a good job of thinking for a split second that the person you think that's less likely to win is going to win. So I think they'll do this loads because obviously you know how popular LA Knight is, so they'll do this absolutely loads. But yeah, there's no illusion. I'd love to see it happen. It'd be a huge curveball. It'd be like the biggest curveball of like this era of wrestling, I think, if Roman Reigns was to go and lose. I would love to see it. I
don't think it'll happen yet.
Oh no, I don't think it'll happen yet. The part of me
I hope it does, but it won't.
Because that would like put me invested back into wrestling again. It'd be like, oh my god, they've actually done something that the fans want. But obviously they know that, yeah. The problem is, for them, money-wise, if LA Knight was to get the championship now, his brand suddenly drops because he's the champion. If he's pushing to get the title and he's like battling everyone and fighting and creating storylines, that brings more money for them. It makes LA Knight more popular. It means they can sell more LA Knight merch.
And when he becomes champion,
yeah. And when someone becomes champion, yes, they still sell merch, but they become kind of like stagnant a little bit. They're not as popular because they're just on the product all the time. Whereas LA Knight, he's trying to fight himself up through the roster.
Yeah.
He's on the product now and then, so he's more of a draw.
Jordan's got a good shout here. He said that he thinks they want Reigns to take over Hogan's record due to him being out of the company. That could be a good shout. That could be a fucking great shout, to be fair.
Because they've done that recently with who was it? Is it Gunther?
With the IC title.
The IC title, they made him like the longest reigning of all time.
His chops look absolutely devastating. Have you seen his chop?
Yeah. Jordan actually went to. I'm so jealous of Jordan because he actually went to Clash in the Castle.
Did he?
Yeah. When was it? 2 years ago? Clash in the Castle. He literally went to Wales on his own because it was in. No, it wasn't. It was in Cardiff. Sorry. It was 2 years ago. Yeah. I think he actually got the bus. I think he actually. I don't know what he did. You can tell me in the comments because he's here. But I remember like being super jealous. I think I was with just around Jade's house at the time while it was on. He's just sending me pictures. Like he had a really good seat as well. That was like close to the ring. She's just like sending me pictures. I was like, get me a program. It'd be worth a fortune. Like it'd be worth an absolute fortune. And they are now, but you couldn't find any. Because
I bet
next
they're
day,
loud. Fuck, he said that he's heard those chops in person.
oh yeah,
I
that's
bet
what
you
I was
can
going
hear
to
him
say.
for a mile off anyway.
That's what I was going to say, because that match with those two was like one of the matches of the year for that year. It kind of like blew everyone completely out the water on that pay-per-view anyway, for sure. Certainly not Gun for or what. That there's certainly not two people I'd want to get into a fight with. Not that I'd want to get into a fight with any of these wrestlers, period. Not even any of the divas, because they'd still beat me up.
I don't know. I think I could take Rhea Ripley.
Oh yeah, you'd be in a coffin before you in about a couple of minutes. I don't even know. Yeah, imagine, right? I'm not being funny, but imagine getting a slam for most of these wrestlers would be extremely painful. But imagine getting slammed onto the canvas by Nia Jax.
Oh,
that is just
there's
life
no coming
ending.
back. There's no coming back.
No, there isn't. There isn't. You're going to break every single bone in your body.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to catch that there.
Like with all those, it's really cool though, because with all those actual like placards and stuff, whatever they are, pieces of card, or like if WWE's got anything to do with it. But that made it look really cool, and it like brings the atmosphere up, makes it actually. That's great. I didn't realize that until Jordan said.
Why is Hornswoggle the ref? I didn't know we were having a special guest referee match there. What the fuck?
He's not much bigger, is he? Like, that is shocking. You'd think for the main. I'm not being horrible to him, right? But if you see this, right, obviously WWE know that people take the mick out of them. So somebody's like millions of people are going to be making memes out of this. That you've got the main event, pay-per-view, and you've got like a referee that's like the shortest referee possible
to stop Roman Reigns.
Well, he couldn't even stop LA Knight's leg, could he? I'm not being funny. Here we go.
Hornswoggle with an interference. He's doing nothing.
Oh shit! Straight away.
Beats him.
Straight away, yeah. We kind of predicted this though. LA Knight's going to spend a good 70-80% of the match beating Roman Reigns up to a pulp, and then Roman Reigns is just gonna. This is how bad it is. This is how bad WWE is as a product. I can tell what's going to happen in the main event before it happens. Like, that's how bad the product is, that I can predict what's going to happen. Because I'm pretty sure that's what's going to play out.
Saying that though, Sam, read your predictions tonight.
Well, yeah, here we go.
What's happened tonight?
It was by like I said, it was controversial. There'll be an impending decision on the actual result and how it came about. I've just done it for the content now. I've done it for the good of the channel.
That's fair enough. I appreciate it. So we're going to make.
I think that could be a shout as well. But what's the storyline? Because obviously, I don't know if Jordan knows any more than me. Because, like I said, I don't watch the weekly product. But so Roman Reigns has split up from all of them now, hasn't he? And it's just him and Paul Heyman, or not?
No, I think he's still with Solo and is it Jimmy, or is it Jay,
okay.
Or is it Jay?
I know they had like towards the end of last year, they was all falling out and like backstabbing each other. But
I know one of the Usos is against them. Like one of the Usos is against them.
Like. See, Jordan's becoming
Roman, Solo, and Jimmy.
He's becoming like that podcast host behind the scenes and like just giving us all the information that we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, isn't it? He'll be a good addition to the Wrestle Dawgs team for sure, I think.
Yeah, he's filling in all the gaps that we can't fill in. Oh, you've got to love Paul Heyman. There's no one. I would go on a limb and say, well, yeah, I'm going to always idolize him for what he did with ECW, but I don't think in the history of wrestling there is someone that's more like charismatic and as good as of a storyteller and the kind of, I don't know how to say it, like it's good because you can, I guess you can call it acting, can't you? There's no one as good at storytelling, playing off the match, etc., than Paul Heyman. I don't think there ever will be. He's just like,
I
one of
think
a
he's
kind.
the greatest manager or like personality in wrestling of all time. I'll be
Yeah,
honest, I actually do. I think Paul Heyman is the
um,
greatest manager
I just
ever.
realised. I've just realised that when I said one of a kind, I've actually done a wrestling reference at the same time.
RVD
One of a kind.
tune. I prefer the Walk theme song though. I prefer that one.
Oh no,
The
but when that
Pantera one.
hits, like, I'm so gutted because the first 1PW show they did back, which was a Doncaster, so the one before, so like their return, which was a couple of years ago, they had RVD there, and one of my like goals, one that I can't do anymore. One was to see Undertaker's entrance live, which I wasn't able to do, unfortunately. And the other one is to see RVD's entrance live, because when that one of a kind hits, like it's next level. And I'm so gutted I didn't go to that one. But hopefully,
I'd love to smoke with RVD. RVD
yeah,
looks like it'd be so fun to smoke with.
with like obviously with him back in AEW's picture now, it's still a chance that I could see that live. Still a chance. I saw. Oh, and another one was to see CM Punk's entrance live. And
Yeah,
obviously,
that'd be sick. Cult of
I saw
personality.
that.
What tune?
I saw that at AEW London because he fought
That's
Samoa
sick.
Joe. So that's one of them ticked off.
That is
But
sick.
everybody, it was so weird because obviously he's like this hated figure in AEW now. So everyone like during the match was booing him, and I turned around to someone like, so there was this little kid. I let him off. Yeah,
Yeah,
literally.
that's the best one. That is the best one. Sorry, Sam, but that is the best. That is the
Yeah,
best
it
one.
probably is. So yeah, it was weird because CM Punk, like this little kid next to me, I was letting him off. He was booing him, but he was like siding each match. So I was like, I'm gonna let you off. But there was a guy in front. He was on something anyway because he was dancing about, screaming and dancing to all the entrances, and he was on his own. He actually got that annoying that someone that was sat next to him because there was a spare chair actually moved back a row because he got that annoying. But he was like booing CM Punk, and I stopped him. I was like, "Oh, can I have a chat with you a minute?" I was like, "Why are you booing him?" He's like, "I don't really know." I was like, "Did you watch it when he completely changed the face of WWE when he came back and like made and was probably a big reason why the WWE is the product that it was today with his whole run with Cena in 2011?" And he went, "Yeah." I was like, "Why are you booing him now then?" This is before, obviously, he'd got into a little bit of trouble in AEW, I think, before, obviously, AEW London. But then he did kind of punch up some of the talent. He's always had that sort of, when I was speaking about earlier about, when I was speaking about some wrestlers that I've met, they're completely different people to what they are in the ring and they were lovely people. CM Punk strikes me as the person that never comes out of character and it is an arsehole the whole time, if that makes sense. Like he knows when he did that whole before he went to AEW, he kept like kind of teasing that he'd come back to WWE. He kept going on like the Bump, which is like one of their network shows and stuff. And he kept like going on like different WWE things to kind of tease his return. But then obviously they never took him back. They only wanted him to like draw in money so that people could get excited that he might be coming back. But I don't think after that, after somebody punching up talent in AEW, a place where pretty much most things you can get away with, like you've got creative freedom, most people love to work for AEW by the sounds of it because it's just a world away from WWE. So I can't see anybody touching him now. He's like ruined he hasn't ruined his he has ruined his legacy a little bit, I guess, but it'd still be amazing to me because of like I say, in 2011, that match was just that was like what I think of that as. So like that Cena and Punk match was very much our. So we was talking about the RVD and Cena at One Night Stand. That CM Punk and John Cena match was very much like that, but in a different era of wrestling, because you had like that Chicago crowd that were rooting for Punk, like everybody hated Cena, so it's pretty much the same sort of scenario. And I don't think anybody would argue that both of those matches stand up as like two of the best matches ever. So yeah, that's yeah, I don't think anybody will touch him now. I guess by that he has ruined his legacy, hasn't he? Because
well, Jordan thinks he's the problem, and it's a bad move if WWE do re-sign him. And I agree. To be fair, like I agree that he probably is. It's a bad decision for anyone to sign him, but
absolutely.
We can't deny his skill though. Like he is a good wrestler. He is a good wrestler for sure. But he is a problem.
Yeah, the thing is with wrestlers that don't have a contract like he has, because he's such a big name, he can just go like around the indie scene like Cordona's doing and make a good living still, like a really good living. So he can do that, but in terms of, I don't think he'll ever get signed for like a major promotion anymore, because maybe he'll take the risk.
Yeah. Sorry. I was enjoying a bit of momentum for LA Knight there. A bit of LA Knight momentum.
Completely gone off from the wrestling, to be fair, but well,
Roman had him in a fucking headlock for about 10 minutes. Boring. I want to see LA Knight with some shiz. Yeah. That's what I meant. Roman's up though here.
Oh, about 6 million punches.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Come on. That's what we like to see. I don't know why I'm liking this too much. I'm enjoying this too much when I know he's going to lose.
Yeah. Are they coming back in January?
Yeah. It's rebranding to TNA again in January.
Oh, yeah.
I think is it the 1st of January, like bang on the new year?
I got excited because I thought Jordan meant that TNA is coming back like to the UK in January. That's why I got excited. But yeah.
And I think they are getting CM Punk. Apparently he was at an Impact taping last week or something like that. I think.
Everybody says that though, like.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to be.
He's spotted every.
You got to take it with a pinch of salt, and you've got to.
Because, like, if you're a wrestler out of contract, I know if it was me, I would just turn up to every event, like wrestling event possible, to like bamboozle people and just make myself in the spotlight more.
Reigns with a near fall. Oh, Jordan said it's officially coming back as TNA on the pay-per-view in January. So.
Oh shit!
It's in the UK in 2024 as well. Nice.
If it's in the UK, well, if we've got enough time to do it, how sick would it be to make content like when TNA's over and like do stuff like outside the arena and stuff?
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking if I can get there, maybe just film like a vlog of it or something like that. Like, could be a good idea. Oh, what a neck break! Can't speak. A neck breaker from LA Knight. Yeah. Oh, Reigns with a Superman punch though. Shit. That was close. Jordan, is there any word on when they'll be in the UK in 2024? Like around what month? Because
I'll look into it. Leave it with me. I'll look
know.
into it because that would be so good. Cause yeah, it's
Maybe
just
like
exciting.
Could
It's
do a vlog or
exciting to
something.
have more wrestling. Yeah, it would be sick. To be fair, like the travel down and everything, you could make a whole thing of it. Because that's what I'm.
No
That's the only
word?
thing I'm gutted about. As long as it's not in August, because in August I'm gutted because Jordan. It's going to be a switch. Jordan was in America when AEW was at London, so I was texting him while I was at Wembley and saying, "Oh, it's amazing here," and he was in America in a bar watching it. I think it was just him watching it, and it's going to be the polar opposite because Jordan's got the opportunity to go to it in August, and obviously I'm going to be in America, which I'm gutted about. Obviously, I'm pleased that I'm going to America, but I'm gutted because it was just such a fun day. But yeah, I hope it's like middle of the year ish.
Jordan said the All In pay-per-views in August anyway, so it's probably winter.
Yeah, I don't think they'll. Oh shit! Yeah, he will be. Ah, that's all right. It made me feel. That makes me feel better, Jordan, because then at
LA
least
Knight with a big fucking suplex off the top rope. Yeah. I'd love to see him win this. What's the choice of crisps, Sam? Salt and vinegar, is that? Nice, nice.
Other brands are available.
Solo's out here. Jordan's called it.
I'm just muting myself. I'll be back with you. I'm just muting myself while I crunch away. Nobody wants to hear that.
No worries, no worries. Jordan's called it here, though. Solo and Jimmy. Oh. LA Knight's got... Oh, big Superman punch from Roman. Shit. Spear's coming. There it is. It's over. He's kicked out. He's kicked out. Come on. Yeah. Reigns can't believe it. He's rethinking his whole life right now. He's like this. He's crying. Oh, Jordan, yeah, don't ruin it. I'm quite far behind. Obviously on my really legal stream. So, yeah.
I wonder who this is in the comments. That's just
yeah.
Because you've been saying it all the time. I had to do it somehow. So
yeah,
I did it in the comments. Yeah, Jordan, don't do that because I'm also on a perfectly legal streaming device watching it. So yeah, Jordan's probably doing the good thing and watching it on the network. But yeah, I'm not paying £10 a month.
I paid 20 quid a month to use this what's it called? StreamYard.
Yeah.
Flipping heck.
No. Any like boxing, for example, like boxing pay-per-views, I refuse to pay £20 or £30 every time one's on. Like, it's just not worth it. Yeah, it's just Jordan on the network. It's all right, Jordan. You can you're carrying the.
No, I'm on the network as well. Of course I am.
You're carrying the, as the wrestling would say, passing of the torch. You're carrying the torch for all of us that are tight and don't want to pay their monthly subscription.
I might do it one day. Who knows?
I guess that's what. I could make a little bit of an in joke. That's what they can afford it. In
maybe
London,
if we
can't they?
maybe if we get some Patreon members in, then I'll do it.
Yeah. A side note. So I mentioned that Jordan runs Lost Ones. Actually, he actually held a festival at his house. I'll have to show you some of the videos. But he actually held like a full scale festival with like all of us with tents and camping and everything. I'll send you the stuff over.
He said he's the baby face here, wear the heels. He's right, because I'm definitely a heel.
See, so we was all in London.
They had me there. Oh, they had me there. I thought he did it then. Oh, they had me. Oh.
So we was in London the other day, right? And we was in Brixton. They all said, right, they picked houses on Harry Potter. They like, you have to answer this quiz and then it tells you what house you'd be in. And they all went, oh, I definitely think low-key Sam ends up in Slytherin. And I was like, nah, there's no chance. Like, absolutely no chance. When I answer all these questions, I'll definitely be like in Gryffindor. I answered all the questions, and it did put me in Slytherin, didn't it? So it made me look all right. And then I felt awful because then I felt like, because everybody that's in Slytherin's a bit of an arsehole. So I went to Jordan. I feel like an arsehole now, though. And he said, well, Harry Potter could have ended up in Slytherin. It was just that the sorting out didn't want it. That seems a bit better.
LA Knight puts fucking the Uso through the table. The Uso. The one that shall be not named. I can't speak today, Sam. Fucking hell. Flipping heck. Roman Reigns about to take this, I think. Here we go. Spear incoming.
That's it. End the stream. I'm never watching wrestling again. Fixed.
No. 2, 3. There we go. It's done. Fuck. It's not fair, that.
Overall, though, I'm actually really impressed with that pay-per-view. Like, so impressed.
No. That was a good match. I'll give you that. That was a good match. I enjoyed
because
that.
There was
match.
only like,
it had me going. It had me like that.
The card as a whole, like, there was only one match in all of that was really naff. The other ones were really watchable, and for a WWE pay-per-view, that is amazing because
he gets his point for Solo and Jimmy helping. Oh, I just named him. I was not meant to say that name. It's the Uso that shall not be named.
Jesus, somebody's got
point though.
Somebody's setting off fireworks outside my house, like massively.
I can hear him. I think.
Yeah, I think they've just found out that LA Knight hasn't won, so they're raging now and setting off hundreds of fireworks.
Or they're celebrating that Reigns has done it, and that's not great. You're just showing that you're an absolute muppet if you're doing that. Because that's why. Yeah, for sure. Jordan's right there. It's done great for his profile. It's probably done better for him than him winning, like Sam said earlier. He's probably right. It'd just be nice to see him with a strap on him, you know. Wait, pause.
Yeah, I did.
Pause.
I did.
That sounds mad. No. Sorry.
I'm not sure I want him to win. I'm not sure I want him to win the WWE Championship though, because they tend to just kind of have the championship and then fade into black once they drop the belt. Whereas if he holds like, imagine.
And all I heard in my head was. But
if he wins like an IC belt, for example, he could then go on to like wrestle more of like the mid card, because that's what he is. I don't think he's like, in terms of his mic work, he's the best like the WWE probably got. But in terms of his wrestling, he's not like the standard of Roman Reigns.
But when the fans get behind you like they are for him, it's sort of like similar to MJF. Like, he deserves a title. Like, maybe not the WWE
title. I just think it would probably be better for him if he gets like the IC title, because then he can fight. Yeah. Because then I think a really good match would be Seth and him, to be fair. I think that would be great.
I can see that. That's good.
So he can fight more people like Seth. He can fight people like, I don't know. I don't know who I'm thinking of. Like, he can fight like Sami Zayn, for example. Like, he can fight more of these mid-card guys. And I think that would be great to give him like an IC title then, for sure. I think this is just going through like, I've just looked and like, do you know Jordan put Imagine Cult Personality? I was like, we've got half an hour left. We'd like it, like of the like what it says on the network. I was like, oh my god, something's got to happen in the next half an hour. But I think by the looks of it, they're just going to show highlights for the next half hour. They're just showing highlights of each match, I think.
That can't be right. Surely not. Half an hour? Nah, surely not. Surely not. Yeah, Jordan, you know what? We all knew it was going to happen. We all knew that was going to happen. Logan Paul winning the title, but I don't know if I'm happy about that. I don't know if I'm happy about that. Does it matter that I'm happy or not happy about it? No, but I am not happy about that, to be honest.
It doesn't mean diddly shit that you're not happy about it.
It's very true.
Because I think it'd be great. I think he's the matches that he's had, so take the personality out of it, the matches that he's had so far since he came, I think he deserves the title for the matches that he's had.
See, I can't really comment either, like, because I've only seen like clips of him in one match here and there of him. Like, I know he's good. I can admit he's a good wrestler and he's a great athlete and he's a natural athlete. But I just can't get behind him. He doesn't get over to me. Do you know what I mean? He's one of them people that just doesn't get over to me.
Yeah, makes sense. But he is a perfect champion for WWE because, like I mentioned, like I keep mentioning, like his mic work and his storytelling is
amazing, and his platform.
So he's got that both. Yeah, like I said, I think that's the reason they signed him, was because they can hit a different platform of people having Logan Paul in the business. They bring like loads of new eyes because of how popular he is on like the internet space. I do actually think they're going to show highlights for the next.
So Jordan said Akira Tozawa taking it off him. Did I say that right? I'm not sure who that is, Jordan. Sorry.
It is done because the little like the trademark thing comes in the corner when a pay-per-view is like fully finished. So it is actually done. It's gone on to the next thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
We're on the top 25 moments in SmackDown history. This has probably been replayed on the network 7 million times just to fill in the gap of half an hour. But yeah, probably a good place to finish now it's all kicked off and done. But I really enjoyed that. Right. What a guy.
Doink the clown.
What a guy that was though. Like, goes down as,
That's throwing it back, that. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Doink the clown. Wow.
So, thanks to everyone that's tuned in, first off.
And cheers to Jordan for giving us the inside scoop.
for the inside scoop and filling in the blanks that we haven't got. I certainly enjoyed it. I hope we get the chance to do more.
Definitely. Anything you want to plug before we go? Like anything you want to?
I don't think so. I don't want to
No?
be. I don't want to be that person that on all my other channels they say, "What's your Twitter?" And I'm like, I don't really want to give out like my Twitter and stuff. Like, there's no need.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Because when I've given out my like Twitter and stuff on YouTube shows, I don't think I've ever had a single follower by giving out my YouTube on. So it's pointless me doing it. Oh yeah, I can shout out Dark Knights, even though you've done it wrong. I was gonna say he's made the rookie mistake of putting the K in front. But yeah, I can shout out that, I suppose. Not that anybody's obviously the wrestling fans first of all. But we have got an event in Leicester coming up, which Jordan will be playing on, with 8 other DJs. Imagine trying to fit 9 DJs on the same lineup. I must be absolutely nuts to have.
Do you know what you should
DJs.
start doing, Sam? You should get a wrestling ring in the venue, and I'll go against Jordan.
Just do like
doing it like it's kind of like the Gathering, what the Juggalos do. Like, have you heard of the Gathering? It's like
no.
Insane Clown Posse, that like their fans, the Juggalos, they have this festival that they all go to that the Insane Clown Posse host, and they have like wrestling matches in the middle of a festival, and that like while like they're having music things happen, and they have like actually like Mick Foley, people like that turning up, the Great Muda, people like that, like just old school people, like fucking so many people, like Scott Hall's been there. Everyone's gone to like the Gathering, like to wrestle, and it's crazy. We should do something like that. Once we get some money behind us, I'm gonna make something like that. I'm gonna do something like a festival, a wrestling festival.
That comment. Oh, that's a class comment. I want to leave that one up for a minute.
Wrestling and dubstep go together.
Where's
like
the comments gone? What's happened?
Nice.
That's amazing. Nice. That's the comment of the night, nice. For sure. Right, what I'm going to do in my fancy to show that I know how to use StreamYard. So across the bottom now,
whoa,
is so that's the Instagram for Dark Knight events. It's pretty mad actually, because obviously if anybody doesn't know the story, which they probably won't, they've got no idea. But I ran a competition on Dark Knights. Don't know how long it was ago. At least 3 or 4. It would have been at least 3 years ago, I think. Right.
Something like that.
I'm gonna check the official match report. So there's a live video of me. I think that was one of the first live videos I ever did, because I can't stand looking at my face on like the screen before I started doing this YouTube stuff, and now it's become quite normal. So it was in 2022. So 2 years ago? No, a year ago. Jesus, it feels like longer than a year ago.
I was thinking then, like, hold on a minute, we're only in 2024.
I added another year on to what we was on. But yeah, that's the story. So you obviously entered a competition that I ran and won the competition. I went through a period where I didn't even do Dark Knights anymore. It was kind of dying a death until the whole revival. I think it was actually thinking about it now, I think it's actually when we first spoke again and you said, "Oh, are you doing anything with Dark Knights?" I wasn't even at all thinking about it until I think it was you mentioned. You said, "Oh, that was one of the only." I think you said that was one of the only like mixes I sent out to people, and I think that kind of clearly struck something up in my brain again to actually go, do you know what? you did kind of build a little bit of something. It's time to pick it back up again. And here I am now doing another event in Leicester, which is just nuts. I didn't think it'd ever leave Lincoln, let alone like going to different cities. So that's mad. That's mad. So yeah, fast forward to make sure I get the dates right. And we're not in 2024 this year. And we're here doing this. So it's pretty nuts how things work out. Like when you're sitting back and think, it's absolutely nuts. So yeah, I'll take that off now. I'll take away the subtle but not so subtle massive banner at the bottom. I didn't realize it was going to come out that big, but it looks pretty cool. So yeah, we're actually doing well. Just a side note, we're actually doing really well with tickets. I think I mentioned before. Bearing in mind when we played at Lincoln, they weren't ticketed the first one. The second one was ticketed, but we only sold like 6 or 7 tickets. But they were all from the same people, like bringing 7 other pals. So like it didn't really seem like that I'd sold that many tickets, if that makes sense. But this time, because on Skiddle you can kind of see, you can see the people that have bought tickets, where they live and stuff, and then like their age range and stuff like that. It's really good at showing you like what's happened. So yeah, we've sold like 13 or 14 tickets, but those 13 or 14 tickets are just like people that come to support the DJs on the lineup. So it's nuts. Like
Yeah,
I didn't think I'd even sell like 3 or 4. I'd have been happy if I'd have sold 3 or 4. So to be at like 13 with like, I know that there's more like in the pipeline that people are going to buy as well. So yeah, it's just nuts. Like
I'm just gonna have a look how far Leicester is from mine, because I'm pretty sure
be a heck of a way. It's
2 hours 14 minutes in a car.
That's not actually that far. I thought it'd be further than that. I thought it'd be much further.
I thought it was going to be about 4 hours. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I suppose if you were to get any like public transport, it would be like 4 hours, though, wouldn't it? Like if you were getting like a bus or whatever, it'd be like 10 hours.
Or like
train would be like 5.5, I'd imagine, at least.
Yeah, no, it's pretty far.
Yeah, it is far. We'll have to try and get one close to you eventually.
Manchester or something, or Liverpool maybe. That'd be sick.
Yeah. It's a thought. Yeah, eventually.
That's like in the middle of both of us. That is Manchester. I'd say it's about in the middle.
I know.
Or Warrington.
I know a few people in Manchester that I could speak to about venues, but yeah, I think we're hitting the nail. I think we're doing really well with Leicester because Leicester kind of has a big student population, but they don't get events very often. So I get like, I think I mentioned to you before, like they'll get like a Crewcast night or a D&B All Stars night or something like that at the academy. But there isn't kind of like an underground scene, as you'd call it, of like kind of many brands in Leicester. So I think we've fallen really well that we could actually maybe make something. I hope so anyway. We can only try. I think I want to end the stream with this comment up, to be fair. When
Jordan's got a good shout, actually. We could do a group watch along for pay-per-view and get our group reactions with no lag. Yes.
I'm thinking that's what we do. I'm thinking that's what we do with War Games. Like I say, the day after War Games, I'll find out the date. I'll set up like a StreamYard for it or whatever. The day after, we'll run live reactions of the War Games. I think that could be a good idea, to be fair, because it's an interesting one to kind of like. There's so much to commentate about because it's just bodies flying everywhere. It's nuts. I do want to leave this up as the last comment because I think that's the comment of the night completely.
Wait, sorry.
What's it on? I think we're trying to put it up at the same time.
Yeah.
Wrestling dubstep like fake pan and juiced up bodybuilders. That is a comedy one-liner and a half.
It is.
I
But before
guess,
we go,
is there any?
I do want to say, if anyone watches this in the future, just think about subscribing to our Patreon, helping us out at the channel. We could do with the help, to be honest. So I'd really appreciate that. And Sam, go on, end it.
No, that's literally. It was almost like you read my mind. We were in sync. I said before we end, did you want to add anything? That's what I was going to say. So it's almost like I knew.
That is the only thing, I think.
Yeah, and make sure, obviously, if you're watching on here and you're not subbed, then what you're doing, you need to sub. Because
go watch some of the videos. You know, not the best editor, but I've tried put some effort into some videos. Go check them out, and we've got some more coming. Hopefully, one tonight. So yeah, hopefully one tonight.
So yeah, on that note, I think it's good space to end it. Thanks to everyone that tuned in, and yeah, I guess keep your eye out on the channel. Lots more content coming, loads more live streams like this. We've even set up the next one, War Games live stream. Be there. Bye everyone.